Looking to purchase your next pre-owned vehicle? Come to Buy Here, Pay Here USA for the best customer confidence program around. With our 6-month, 6,000-mile powertrain warranty, Carfax history report, 48-hour return policy, 52-point inspection, and free oil changes with AutoPay for the life of the loan, we take great care of you and your vehicle. Visit Buy Here, Pay Here USA in Cleveland and Dayton, or go to buyherepayhereusa.com. That's buyherepayhereusa.com.
No dealers allowed.
Jackson Catnapper, family owned and operated in Cleveland since 1933, offering the best with over 70 styles of recliners, sofas, electronic lift chairs, full living room packages. Call Mike now at 961-7239 because Jackson Catnapper now offers sales to the public
Every Saturday. That's right, every Saturday.
From 8 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. Or call Mike at 961-7239. Or go see him
Every Saturday
at 1911 King Edward Avenue, just across from the main plant. Jackson Catnapper, family owned and operated in Cleveland since 1933. 961-7239.
No dealers allowed.
You are listening to WOOP-LP, Cleveland, Tennessee. WOOP FM is a broadcasting service of the Traditional Music Resource Center, and we play America's original music.
Where'd the old town go? They moved it all north of here in a shopping mall.
Good morning and welcome to Old Town Cleveland here on WOOP FM 99.9, or you can go to the internet at www.woopfm.com. You can call us here at 614-5553, or we'd like to thank my buddy John Cook, who wrote our theme song. He actually wrote it about his brother years before, and he's allowed us to use it as a theme song. So I'd like to thank John for doing that, and it's on his new album. So anybody would like to buy that, go to johncooknet.com. And Deb, tell us about this wonderful day.
Good morning. We had Erin Medley on here a few minutes ago, and she's the manager of Red Clay State Park, and we've invited her back. So you guys need to stay tuned for news on a show that we'll be doing with her about the history of Red Clay. But she wanted to tell us about the Cherokee Heritage Days, and that's going to be happening not this weekend, the fair's this weekend. Yes. Next weekend is at the Red Clay State Park, 10 to 5 on Saturday, 10 to 5 on Sunday. It's just $5 to park your car, and you can just walk around for free and look at all the exhibits and stuff. It'd be a good time to take your kids to Red Clay State Park. What's happening down at the fair today?
Today is the Kansas City Barbecue Contest. All these national barbecuers from all over the country.
You can just get fat smelling the air down there.
Free admission today. Go in and you can see all the barbecue. And I think at 12 o'clock, I think at 11 o'clock they have to bring what they've cooked down to the judges. At 12 o'clock, you see that. Walk along and see all these unbelievable barbecue pits. If you've ever watched any of that on television, some of these people are here.
I kind of think maybe some of those grills and smoking devices might cost more than my car.
I'm sure some of those smoking devices cost more than your house. Some
but
of
if
them
you
may cost
haven't
as
seen
much
a big, we're just really fortunate to have that big barbecue competition here, and you guys go down and support them. I think it's free today.
Free admission.
Free today. You just go down and then
free as cheap as you get.
Free is as cheap as you get. I wanted to mention before we get started here that on Tuesday night at 6:30, our good friend gospel singer Kathy Carnes will be singing at Jenkins at 6:30. That sounds like a real fun time, and I think she may be calling us here in a little while to tell us all about that. And if you'd like to go out and say hello to JR and JR's girl, they're up at Tractor Supply today selling fresh milk and veggies. We have people calling all the time. Where can I get some fresh milk?
Right out of the cow?
Right out of the cow.
That's fresh.
I think it's probably right out of the cooler, actually, at the
Okay.
Tractor Supply.
Well, it come out of the cow first.
I'd go up there to see JR's girl milk a cow.
Yeah, I don't think they're. I didn't mean they was going to milk the cow then hand it to you right then.
Well, you said out of the cow.
Well, they up at the farm they took it out of the cow and brought it down there, and then over at Peerless Road the farmers market goes on
They
there too.
always have a good farmer's
And,
market. I bought some great okra, let me tell you, from, I forgot his name. It'll come to me in a few minutes. But
He
he's
appreciates the advertising.
he said he was set up outside the gates right there when you park your car, and he was selling some great okra the other day. So go by and see the first little guy sitting there and tell him that you heard Debbie Moore talking about him on the radio.
So that's great. So tell us about our guest in our program today, Deb.
We have Mary Lou Patterson Woods with us, and she runs the cannery here in Bradley County, and she's going to tell us how you can use the cannery. She's going to help you with all your canning questions.
And we also want people to call and tell us about your family and their canning and anything unusual they canned, or I want to hear people about canning sausage.
Somebody's saving me over here. They said James Kelly, and I have to say yes, Mr. Kelly.
Right. They're
sells the okra.
So call us and tell us about your grandmother canning, and that people had to break beans, and my grandmother done pickled beets. Oh my God!
Well, tell Mary Lou what your grandmother did with those green beans.
My grandmother Moore would can green beans, but she'd lived through the Depression, and those green beans weren't for eating; those were for saving in case there was another depression.
Leather breeches.
And after you saved them for 10 or 15 years, they're not as good as they were when they were fresh.
It's probably called leather breeches.
Right.
They grind them out and hang them up, and they're like green bean
How
jerky.
long, when you can something, how long realistically is that good for?
Really? Well, Brad Benton brought some, I think it was Brad, one of my customers brought some canned goods down there one day. They had been 15 years old. That we wasn't going to eat them, but we opened them, and they still smelled and looked just like fresh beans. I'm saying no more than 5 years. Now, some of my books say just a year,
Yeah.
but I've got some 5 years old that I'm eating that's great.
We had jars and jars of it at our house. My grandmother lived right next to us, and we kept them down there for her. She just kept making them. Because I had to had to plant them. I had to pick them. I had to do all that stuff for her.
Bless his heart.
And then we canned them. Then I couldn't eat them.
That's no fun.
But they were starting to turn black.
Oh, they're a little bit old.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they turn black, I wouldn't
I
eat
think
them.
the Depression made that kind of impression on a lot of old folks, is that once they had lived without things, they were hanging on to everything that they could
get
hang
their
on
hands
to.
on.
What
I
now?
still
But that
do.
doesn't make sense. You could kind of eat it.
What's the weirdest thing you've seen canned down there that just freaked you out?
Weird.
Does anybody do sausage anymore?
We don't do sausage at the cannery. We're not allowed to
Oh,
that kind of meat at the cannery. I don't know. The weirdest thing would probably be like zucchini relish. I wasn't familiar with that to start with. Now we do a lot of relish of squash and tomatoes and stuff, but people don't do much weird anymore. They do fresh stuff right off the bat, but we don't do any kind of meat. We don't cook. Oh, this lady did cook cabbage. I told her canned cabbage. I said, no, you can't can cabbage. It doesn't have any acid in it. It won't keep. So she went ahead and canned her cabbage, and about 3 weeks later she came back. She says, my cabbage smells like manure. I said, well, that's because it's rotten.
Yeah.
So you have to
It's
throw it out.
fermenting.
Yeah.
Oh, it's turning into sauerkraut.
Now you can make sauerkraut, and it's different. You salt it down really
Yes.
good. Don't just can it, because we make tons of sauerkraut.
So when you make stuff like chow chow with cabbage,
That's okay.
What's the difference there?
Vinegar and salt.
Vinegar and salt.
Yeah, so you salt it down and it'll keep. But if you just put cabbage and water in a jar, it's going to be like when we were kids and we canned mulberries off of those big old poke salad things as kids, and we'd seal them up, and Mother didn't know it, but we set them in her fruit house because we did all this canning. And she went down there one day, she made us come back and go clean up the can house. All of our stuff had exploded. And it was sitting there. We just, stuck it in there with water on pokeberries and stuff
Because
like
that's
that.
what you thought.
Because it was fun.
Yeah.
We had fun doing it.
Oh, how funny.
But they don't.
So how did you learn to can, Mary Lou?
My mom canned anything she could get her hands on. We actually had what we called a fruit house. Way back when, we had a little old hole in the back of the backyard. We had 5 steps go down to it, and it was just a dug-out hole, probably full of snakes and lizards and everything, but we didn't have no sense to know that. But then Daddy actually made her a fruit house that's concrete walls and concrete floors and concrete ceiling that was really secure, so that's where we put it. But Mom canned anything she could get her hands on. I mean, we canned from 5 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock at night, 7 days a week sometimes.
I don't think people do that near as much now because there's Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
Deb sometimes says, I want to can something. I just like to do it. She says, they sell that down there at Walmart.
Yeah,
But
they do say, and I tell everybody, we can can anything that you can buy canned except cabbage and corn and meat. And you can meat, but we're not allowed to do it down there. And I guess it's because some people might do it in, not exactly the way it's supposed to be canned and get salmonella or something like that from it. So we're only allowed
just
to can.
handling the meat down that
Yeah.
area too would be.
Yeah, and
Okay, if I'm making cabbage, kraut, tell me how that process works.
you bring about 25 pound of cabbage. That's what most people would bring, in the vicinity of 25 pound of cabbage. Run it through the food processors, which we have, I think, 7 of, and just grate it down as fine as you want it or as coarse as you want it. And then you take that and you we put it in 5-gallon buckets, plastic buckets. We put 1/3 of the cabbage in there, and then 1/3 cup of salt, another third of the cabbage, 1/3 cup of salt, another third of the cabbage to salt. And all this time we take our fingers and poke that salt down into that cabbage really good. Then you take a towel and you cover it real tight, and water will start coming up out of that. And then you put a big plate with a gallon of water sitting on top of it, and 13 days later you come back and put it in your jars and you've got it canned. Real
See, I
simple.
remember that process vaguely from my childhood in a crock pot.
Okay.
Well, one of those big crocks, yeah. Like
When
a
you do that with
churn.
corn and sugar, you make a whiskey though, right?
Shh, tell them about that. That's done in the back room. Yeah, that's why you would do it. But they do add other stuff to
I
it.
love kraut,
Yeah.
but it just seems like it's basically that's rotten cabbage.
It is rotten. Well, it is preserved rotten cabbage, but that salt,
That's a good way.
salt preserves
Yeah.
it. But now I made some this year out of red cabbage. I have a good farmer, Lee Ross, on 411 Highway, that had tons of red cabbage. And he wanted me to make him some kraut out of the red cabbage. Now, red cabbage is sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And it stunk. You would not believe. I had to take it out and dump it. It stunk so bad. But it's the sugar that's in it. It would be something that you would have to make relish out of, where you could preserve it with the sugar and a little vinegar instead of just salt.
Now, has vinegar always been what people use to do that? And where did they get vinegar back?
Did they make their own out of like apples or what
I'm
did they do?
sure they made their own vinegar. And I did at one time know kind of a process for making vinegar. I forgot how, but vinegar preserves, it's an acid actually, and it preserves the food that you put it into. Anything that had a lot of a lot of vinegar or a lot of sugar, you water bath it also instead of putting it in the pressure cooker. But if it's got the vinegar in there to restore the acid back into the foods really good, you water bath it. But people used to even can their green beans with vinegar.
You can soak peaches like in moonshine, and they won't rot.
Or amaretto. It's really good if you put it in amaretto.
Oh, that sounds
We did
interesting.
peaches and pears both, and just add a little amaretto.
So you said your mom canned everything. Did you do fruits and make jellies and everything?
yeah, we still.
And
yeah.
so now that stuff you ate all year round. Was this out of your own garden or?
Yeah, out of our own garden.
Yeah,
Out of our own
see
garden.
what
That's all
you-
I ate growing up. And I attribute that now to being as healthy as I am, because that's what we ate. That's all we ate. And then I went through that period of like 20 years when I was raising the kids and didn't can any. And then I started getting back into it, and I just fell in love with canning again.
So tell me about the first time that you ventured to the cannery.
First time I ventured to the cannery, a girlfriend wanted to go. I was working at M&M Mars, or just started M&M Mars, and she was wanting to go down there and do some canning of some green beans. So we bought our green beans, and broke the stone, took them down there and canned all this nice green beans. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is the way to live. And then I went down there off and on for a while. And then when I retired from M&M Mars, I went down and volunteered. I volunteered there for 6 years, learned half of what Retha knew, and then I picked it up, and now I'm running the cannery myself.
Okay.
I love it. I love it. I wouldn't do anything
For the
else right now.
people who do not know where the cannery is, let's tell them right now.
If you know where the recycling center is, we're right across the street from them. If you don't even know that much, go down Peerless Road. If you're going in from the Ace Hardware store, just past the Bradley County Nursing Home, then there's one little road that goes down through there. Don't take it. Take the next one, the one next to Central Drug Store. Got great big signs there. Just take the little loop down to the little block building. It's way down there in the woods. You won't see us from the road, but that's where we're at.
Years ago, on the right, there's a tin building there, which was Junior Achievement.
Junior Achievement is still there. Don't go into that.
So
one.
is Junior Achievement still there?
Junior Achievement
Okay, well,
building.
great.
Well, I don't know if that's what it's called or not, but the one where they
Yeah.
sign up for soccer and stuff like that's there.
Oh, okay.
And then the farmers market is in between the road and the cannery and the recycling center.
Right. So that Peerless Road.
5 a.m. to 1 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday.
Tell us that time again.
5:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Wow. So now, is any cost to someone coming in
No.
and doing that?
I tell everybody, this is one place where you're going to see your tax dollars at work. Bradley County Taxes pays for this. Don't cost you a thing.
So you bring everything you need, your
bring
jars and your vinegar and all that stuff.
Yep.
And you just have the cooking and the
Yep.
and
when
ways
you,
to.
yeah. When you come in, say you're going to bring green beans. Just come in with your green beans, broken strung. I can wash them for you in a big pot, which is actually better than you wash them at home in the sink. And then we put them in there. We parboil them about 8 to 10 minutes. You put them in your own jars. Put your caps and lids on them. But I will show you how. I check every jar that goes through there. Make sure it's got enough water, enough beans, whatever. Put your salt if you want salt. Most people don't can with salt anymore unless it's something that's required. And then I put them in the pressure cooker for you. And I'll keep up with it. I time it, everything else. I turn it off. And then when it's ready for you to take out, take it out, take it home.
Now, when does the little lids pop?
The lids don't pop. Oh, about 12 to 24 hours is what I tell them. Most of those lids are going to pop within the first hour, but you may have those that don't pop for like 12
I like
hours.
to do that. And you
don't give up.
Be sitting in there and you hear.
Yeah. I
You
tell
know that
everybody-
you've
yeah.
done good.
That's your service call.
We
I tell
do bread
everybody,
and butter pickles. We haven't made
yeah.
any this year. Our cucumbers came in strange this year. It's kind of like we don't have enough at any one moment and last year our two
We
plants
don't plant
ran,
a lot now. So
Yeah, we don't plant a lot, but last year we had more than we knew what we do with at one time, so we made pickles. But this year they're kind of coming in. We're just eating them. They're
well, I
good.
hope you
We're
have a
eating
few
them,
pickles left.
and we got
Oh,
lots of
we
pickles
got
left.
pickles
Okay.
and jalapenos and our corn relish is gone. That's why I'm saying we need to make some corn relish.
Yeah, we make a lot of corn relish, and it's easy to make too. It's all easy.
I
But,
need a good recipe.
Well, I've got tons of recipes down there. Just come down there and borrow one of my
Ours has been
books.
good. Now last year last time we made it, it was a little cloudy, and was that the starch in the corn coming out, or what was that? I didn't die.
It tasted fine. It
Yeah.
just was not clear.
I
It
would
was
say probably you didn't cook it hardly. Do you cook yours a little bit?
just a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah.
Get it
Yeah, you
hot.
probably didn't cook it quite enough to seal the starch in the corn.
Okay.
If you
Okay.
cook it just a little bit
So that
longer,
you
it
had
may not
to
be.
okay. That's what I thought it was with the starch.
Yeah.
We didn't die.
Yeah, well, good. I'm glad you didn't.
It's good. But we've made several different kinds of cucumber relish, and we just play.
We made pickle relish.
I tell you, one of the best relish you make is either green tomato relish or ripe tomato relish. Those two are my
ripe tomato
favorites.
relish. That sounds good.
After this,
The ripe tomato relish is a little bit sweet. It's more of a sweet relish.
Oh,
The green
that's good.
tomato relish is more pickly, but that's two of the best relishes you can make.
What about salsa?
Oh, gosh. We make salsa. I bet we make probably 2,000 jars of salsa a year.
Oh,
Last year we did 22,564 jars of food.
wow, that's unbelievable.
Yes.
it's a well-kept secret.
It's-
Unfortunately,
yeah.
it's a lot
Well,
of
not
people-
anymore. We're
We're
telling the world today.
But listen, you have to make an appointment. Just because we're talking about this, don't mean we can do it all in one
Okay.
day.
What if somebody just wants to come down and see? They're saying, I don't know if I want to can my food somewhere else.
Oh, I have 3 or 4 people a week or more than that usually come in and just observe for a while.
Good.
Yeah,
and
no
that's
problem.
okay.
Oh yeah, that's okay. We take them through and show them everything and how it's done and whatever. And then if they just want to stand and watch for a while, nobody minds. Well, matter of fact, people love it. people start teaching them how. My customers will. It's there a lot. And they'll start teaching them how to can, and then they all get in a big conversation. It's just like a party down there.
Well, do you ever have children?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I have two 14-year-olds. Four 14-year-olds that take turnabout coming. They love it. They come every Tuesdays and Thursdays and volunteer for me and do it. And those girls, after they've been there, someone's been there like 5 or 6 weeks, they're as good as I am. I mean, they know it and they love it, and they come back. And matter of fact, August 1st, I'm taking them all out for breakfast because I appreciate them so much.
Now, does this run just a seasonal or is this year round?
Seasonal.
Okay.
From May. Last year, I closed the first week of November, and if I keep that many appointments going, I'll be into November this year. If
the crops start change, they change all the time.
Crops change. Yeah, now we're fixing to start apples now, and I venture a guess that last year we probably did between 4,000 and 5,000 jars of apples. People make apples in all various ways: applesauce, apple butter, apple pie filling, just plain canned apples.
Apple butter.
Oh yeah.
What about pumpkins? What do people do with pumpkins?
Can it.
Can it just like, and so when you
Just
get
like
it,
you
it'll
do
be
sweet
like the
potatoes.
can that you get at the store, or is it stringier?
You can now. If you get a canning pumpkin, and there are canning pumpkins, cooking pumpkins, and then there are Halloween pumpkins. Get the canning pumpkins, and they do not have strings in them.
Oh.
You just scrape the seeds and stuff out, and then can those.
Keep up there a little closer, Mary.
And they will can up.
They
can up just like sweet potatoes. You keep them up, and the book actually says not to can them pureed, which is like the canned pumpkins you get. But we have found that if you put it in the real small jars, you can go ahead and puree it and make it like you would buy it in the store. But most people just cube it.
Okay.
But it does work really good that way, and it's great. It's good. Those canning pumpkins are sweet, so you have a real good sweet sound on
What
that.
about onions?
Onions, we put onions in our bread and butter pickles. We put onions in a lot of things. We don't can onions just by themselves because I don't think anybody want them. But you can put
just
them
hang
in
them up,
anything.
don't you? Hang them up in a dark area, and that.
Put them in a pantyhose. Tie a knot in between them. You take a panty if you have any pantyhose. People don't wear pantyhose much. Tie a knot in between each onion and hang them up, and you can keep them all winter. Now sometimes the Vidalias, which are real sweet, will ruin before the others do, but just get a regular onion that you grow in your garden. You can keep them that way.
Now, potatoes, people just say potatoes are any way to...
We can potatoes, and we can potatoes, and we can potatoes. And what you can do with canned potatoes, you can do anything that you do with a regular fresh potato. And I don't particularly like the canned potatoes as mashed potatoes. I'd rather have fresh, but you can potatoes. And I slice mine about 1.5 inch slice. Take them out of the jars, rinse them off, put them on a cookie sheet, put some olive oil and a little bit of potato spice on them. You can buy it in an envelope, you can make your own, and roast them in the oven, and they're just like really good potato chips, thick potato chips. But they are very good. And but that's a lot of things. People come in and say, I didn't know you could can potatoes, but yes, you can can potatoes. Pinto beans, we can, probably 5,000 or 6,000 jars of pinto beans, dried beans, potato soup, lentil soup, 16 bean soup, 5 bean soup. And that's a big thing for dried beans. Big dried beans.
See, you've gone beyond what I thought you would can. I thought green beans and...
Green beans, tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we do dried beans. Oh, my goodness. And the reason for people say, why don't you just throw your dried beans into a crock pot and let them cook all day? One thing, women are not home all day like they used to be, and they don't want to leave the crock pot plugged up. Another thing is that they have to cook more than what was required. So anyway, you open up a can of beans, you put them in a pot, you put them on your table, and they're ready to go at any time. They taste just like you've cooked them all day.
Okay.
Very good.
That's good. Well, we're going to open up the phones here. We're having a little problem with our headphones, but so if you can't hear, I'll repeat the question for someone. And you can call us here at 614-5553. We're talking about canning today. All you got to do is say call, and here we are, first caller. Good morning, live on Old Town Cleveland.
Good morning, Ron. Dave, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Bullet. How you doing?
I'm feeling pretty good. I want to give a shout out to Pro Day. I went and seen him at the Foothills Country Fair last night, and I ain't leave Pokey's about 12:30. I'm kind of had lost a little sleep there.
You lost sleep. That's not good for you old guys.
I went to Pokey's. That's the first time I went there, and he actually does a real good job. I was kind of proud of Pro Day.
Yeah, he does a good job. He really does. I think he's playing somewhere tonight. I'll get that for you in a minute here.
I think it's across Market Street Bridge and take a left. I know where he's at, but I don't think I'll make that trip.
It's the Big Chill down on Cherokee Boulevard in Chattanooga.
Yeah, I've been there a lot of times. But anyway, I want to ask your guest about ever pickled corn and pickled green beans.
Pickled green beans and pickled corn. Have you done that?
Yes, I've done both of them. My son loves pickled green beans. And I just do them whole, put it in there, and pickle them, and they're good.
Now, when you pickle them, does that include vinegar?
Oh, yes. Anything you pickle has vinegar.
Okay. Pickle means vinegar.
Pickle means vinegar, yeah.
Okay.
The green beans are easy to do with.
And they got a little bit more of a wang to them, right?
Green beans have a good wang to them, yeah.
Yeah, I like a wang myself.
Good twang. It's just like eating something, exotic.
And pickled corn, did you say, right, Bullet?
Well, I think what he's talking about is probably corn relish. It's got other stuff in it besides just corn, but pickled, you can do a corn relish, which has got vinegar in it, which means it is pickled.
Anyway, I actually got hooked on that in a little boy because that's what my family like to pickle all the time.
Anything else pickled that you want to put vinegar in, you can pickle it.
Yeah. All right, Ron, how you been doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm doing good. I got a shot in my hip this week. They put a cortisone shot in the middle of my hip, and
Mary
I
Lou,
can
you
walk
know
and
how
I
you
can sleep.
Tell when men are getting older.
We talk about our procedures.
They start talking about what procedures they've had done.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I know what he's going
No, I don't have any older men in my family.
Yeah. Anyway, Ron, it's good talking to you and Deb this morning.
All right. Good talking to you. Bye-bye. All right, we're doing a little switch here, so go ahead.
Okay. Ron's trying to get our headphones working this morning. We have no air conditioning. The internet's frozen, and we're seeing if we got headphones now.
Do you?
We mess up our hair.
You got to talk.
Hello, can you hear us? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? Well, I don't have it plugged in. That's why.
Well, that's not
Electricity's a wonderful thing.
You know, Mary Lou, you can see that we aren't ready here for some reason, but
hey, it's just like being at the candy when you get there too early or too late.
Oh yeah.
And I just prayed at the end of the day. I said, "Thank you, God, for this wonderful day, but don't give it back to me again."
You know, I wish that one thing I wish that you could have canned, and I still had some, would have been my grandmother's banana pudding.
Oh my goodness gracious!
I was down in the in Georgia, unfortunately, at a cousin's funeral this week, and all we could talk about was grandma's banana pudding.
Well, a lot of people now use instant puddings and stuff like that. I still like to cook mine. I want to go back to the basics and make it from scratch and
like the biscuits.
Yeah.
Oh, let's take this call here, though. I'll have to repeat for you. Good morning, live on Old Town Cleveland.
Hello, Rod.
Hey, Miss Ella, how you doing today?
Well, I feel great today. My shoulders are hurt like they were hurting.
Your shoulders are hurting.
Yeah, my shoulders have been hurting because I ain't been dancing, and I ain't danced yet. I got to go.
Well, yeah, you're going to have to go dance and swing them arms around them shoulders to stop hurting.
I know, but it's hard to do it because they have a gate, and the gate closes at a certain time. So I'm going the first to see the Collins brothers, then I'm going 15th for my birthday.
So where are you going to hear the Collins brother at?
Pokey's?
Oh, okay. They're at Pokey's tonight.
No, not tonight. The first.
Oh, the first. Okay, excuse me.
Always the first Friday of every month.
First Friday of every month. Okay, well, good.
And I want to tell you about a couple of yard sales.
Tell me about a couple of yard sales.
Well, there's one over here on Blythe Avenue, Boys and Girls Club.
That's a good one.
Yeah, they're just now getting set up. And there's another one on Mouse Creek Road somewhere. I don't know exactly.
On Mouse Creek Road somewhere. That narrows it down for me, Miss Ella.
Well, I don't know exactly where.
All right. Well, it's good hearing from you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. There's our call from Miss Ella, who the day's complete now. We know that everything's okay.
Yeah, send her a little bit of Flexol.
Yeah.
Then she can get out and go dancing.
Yeah, that's right. Now, tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
Yeah, I mean,
oh my goodness gracious!
I heard you just got the water hot and you dropped them in there and it took the peel off and they were
well, we have a steamer.
Okay.
We have this big steamer. She put a whole bushel of tomatoes in it one time. Steam them for 2 to 3 minutes. Cool them down, and then the peelings actually slide off of there. Of course, you have to help them slide off.
Okay.
Cut your core out.
So now, then you just put that whole miter.
You can put the whole in the jar if you want them whole. You can cut them up and make them into little pieces. You can make tomato juice. You can make V8. I call it V6 because I've never come up with 8 of them, but V6 or V7 juice out of them. Vegetable soup. Oh my goodness! A whole bushel of vegetable soup makes it just wonderful. And we also made some tomato jelly last year, and this year ripe tomato relish and green tomato relish, and that's the 2 best relishes you'll ever eat in your life. But we do tons. As a matter of fact, we did 6 bushel of tomatoes yesterday after I closed the cannery just because the farmers gave them to us, and we needed to do something with them. So we canned them, and we made salsa. We made spaghetti sauce. We made chili sauce, and we made some tomato juice. So you can always take care of the tomatoes. But if you've got any kind of tomato, don't waste it. Do something with it. I mean, they so much. It's such a versatile. It is so good for you. We need those tomatoes. We need the acid that's in the tomatoes.
Yes. And this time of year, I just usually go out to the vine, cut one open, and eat it.
Yeah. One of my customers brought me those little Tommy Toe cherry type, grape type, whatever tomatoes they are, in a pan. And I just walked by and popped 5 or 6 in my mouth at one time all day long yesterday. So
Deb can hear now.
Yes, I can hear too. How about that?
I can't hear now, so you got to plug me in up over there.
But the important people could hear. That's me and Debbie.
That's right now. Hey, I can hear also.
Okay.
I need to put that on Daniel Brantley's list, Ron.
Which one's mine there?
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Hey, now we're ready to go. Hey, we hear each other.
I can hear you.
Well, there's something else that Marion Lou and I are going to get into here in a little bit, probably after our break at 11 o'clock. We're going to talk about the folks down in I would call it the Valley View area.
Valley View area, Liberty School area, Wooten School area.
Million Curve.
Number 4, don't forget number 4. It was
School
in there
number 4. We're going to talk about all that. I was so excited when I didn't know Mary Lou, but when I called her and we started talking, I remembered her family and some of her siblings, and I knew that she'd kind of grown up in the same area I had, so we've got lots to talk about along those lines.
Yeah, we're probably getting into some more relatives. And if you don't want to hear gossip, just turn your radio off. We're going to gossip about you.
Yeah, we don't repeat gossip, so you have to listen the first time.
Yeah.
Or you better call quick and say, "Hey, Mary Lou, how you doing?"
And then don't hang up on me.
Yeah, well, see
Mary
now.
Lou, do tell the folks. I'm sorry to get off the subject here, but tell the folks about your husband that worked at the radio station.
Oh, well, my first husband was Gene Cleghorn. I'm sure a lot of people in Cleveland remember Gene. He was a fabulous musician. He played by ear, as they called it then, and he could play anything. He wasn't good on the banjo, but other than that, I think he could pick up anything, and within 2 hours, he could play on it. And we moved to Maryville in 1964, and he was a radio announcer at that time, and he also had a fabulous band. And
he was a radio announcer here in Cleveland a little bit.
Yeah, he was not. His brother actually worked with Tom Rowland when Tom first started the radio station at WCLE, and Gene worked there some with them. But that's about the same time that we moved to Maryville, and then he went to work at GAP in Maryville. So down here, I doubt very few people would remember him from down here, but a lot of people, knew when we moved and went up there. And but he was a radio station for the rest of his life in Maryville. But, he and Tom Rowland, as a matter of fact, a serious incident. His brother, unfortunately, had a traumatic death, and Gene was at the radio station with Tom the day that he died, and he and Tom took off over to investigate, and it was Gene's brother. So it was really a traumatic, really a traumatic incident at that time. And then about that same time, we moved to Maryville, and it kind of got forgot about, but anyway, it goes back a long way.
And your husband ended up getting killed in a car accident.
My husband got killed in a car accident in 1970, and my 3 little babies and me stayed in Maryville for 2 years, then we moved back to Cleveland. But he was a great guy. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there hopefully listening that happen to know Gene.
Well, maybe they'll call in and reminisce a little bit about him.
Yeah, he was great.
And now, and so you remarried?
Remarried in 1982 to Dallas Woods. And he died also.
Oh, well.
So I'm not very good with men. I just kill them all off, I reckon. I don't know. It's just one of those sad situations. But
well, you got to enjoy them while you had them.
Yeah.
The Convertibles do play tonight at the Big Chill down on Cherokee Boulevard on the North Shore, and they're going to play from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Right. And today you can go to Peerless Road to the Farmers Market, buy some great vegetables, prepare them, and call Mary Lou and set up an appointment and go can them Monday
That's
or
right.
Tuesday or Wednesday or.
Let's see. How about don't call me till the appointment's for August the 4th. I think I'm booked up next week.
Wow.
There you go. So you
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 call
just
in
hope
advance.
things come in at the right time.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to see somebody milking a cow, go up and visit JR's girl up at Tractor Supply.
No, she just got fresh milk there. She milked it this morning and got it right out of the cow
Yeah.
and brought it down there.
But
And,
now, seriously, we have people that call this show all the time and ask where they can buy fresh milk. Well, you can buy fresh milk at Tractor Supply out in the parking lot from JR and JR's girl.
they
this
say
morning.
fresh milk is really, really good for you. But I should warn you, if you haven't drank fresh milk on a regular basis,
Let's say it cleans your system out, Ron.
your body will react quickly for this, and it's a good thing. But just want you to know that. But there's a lot of people who like fresh milk and who do drink it when they can get it.
I was at Tractor Supply last Saturday, and matter of fact, supporting the cannery, and I was next to JR in April.
Yeah, we call her JR's girl.
Bird dog.
JR's girl.
Bird dog
Yeah.
and JR's girl.
And
yeah.
they sold a lot of milk. They sold a lot of milk up
Yeah.
there last week.
They
Yeah.
do.
We have some friends out on No Pond Road that also sell goat milk and cow's milk, so I'm familiar with whole milk. And yes, and also shake it up for you because I drink it. It's going to have butter on top or cream on top, and you have to shake that up and put it in your
And
milk.
I've never drank goat milk.
Well, I've got a great grandson that drinks goat milk, so we go out from the other April and buy goat milk.
Okay, what does goat milk taste like?
I don't know. I don't have enough nerve to try it.
I think it tastes bad.
Well,
Oh, well,
I love it bad. Yeah, my grandson drinks it some because the great grandson drinks it.
yeah, I've
drinks
had
it
goat
too.
cheese, which is made from goat milk, and that was tart. And
I don't like it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, April. I don't like goat milk, goat cheese though.
well, like I said, but this was hand milked by JR's girl, so that you can. The personal
She's got her
care,
cow in the parking lot.
personal care that she give in milking this today, and they're good friends of ours, and
Yeah.
we're hope people come out and do that.
Yep.
Makes great ice cream.
Bird Dog's mama came and did a show with us, and April was here too. And I don't know who made the muffins, but somebody made muffins and brought a big bowl of muffins in here. And I couldn't get Ron to talk that morning because he's eating muffins the whole show.
Yeah, but that whole milk really makes really good ice
It
cream.
makes good biscuits too.
Oh, yes, I bet. So,
Yep.
ooh, good biscuits, yeah. So, we're talking about canning today and other things. So, if you have a question about canning, Mary Lou can answer any of them. Or
If I
she'll,
can, I'll ad lib it.
or she'll say I don't. Or she'll say I don't know. That's what we do. But if you have a question about canning, or if you have a story about your mother canning, we on Facebook we posted that we were doing this, and people kept talking about their pressure cookers and their grandmother's pressure cooker blowing up.
Yeah. We need to probably talk about that a little bit.
Hold on a second. Good morning, live on Old Town Cleveland.
Good morning, Ron.
Oh, I
Hey.
can hear. Hey, Brenda.
I just wanted to tell you a little something since you're talking about goats.
Oh, no. I'm worried. What are you going to say?
We went with some friends one night to their house, and they was having a big dinner and cookout, and they had this great big pot on the stove, and oh, it smelled so good, and I was just dipping and getting all my stuff in my plate, and I was just I was eating it up, and I asked Carlos, I said, what is this? He said, it's Chibo. I said, what's a Chibo? And one of the other people at the table said, it's goat. And I like to choke.
I think it's just what you're used to. Our brother-in-law, who unfortunately passed away about 3 years ago, he was Daniel Boone during modern times, let me tell you. And we'd go to their house, and oh my gosh, they'd have such a spread. Jerry Bandy, they'd have such a spread, and Ron would just eat everything. He never asked questions, but I'd always go, "What is this?" And it would be bear or hog or turtles, everything.
Yeah, I've had bear stew before, and it was delicious, but I didn't know what it was till after it was over.
Yeah.
But
Brenda, did your mom can? No, not
she
much.
Worked all of her life, long hours, and
She still does.
But her sisters, they canned, and her mama canned.
So You didn't eat any of that stuff, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you, I mean, it's just you didn't go to the store. You went in there to the shelf and opened up for supper.
Oh, I love canned food. I absolutely love it.
Go out in the backyard and kill a chicken, then go to the fruit house and get your food.
I watched my grandmother do that one time, and I still ate the chicken, but she cut that chicken's head off, and it still flew.
Hey, it'll fly for 5 minutes. That used to be my job. Go out in the
was
backyard and kill
entertainment.
some chicken, yeah.
That freaked me
It's
out.
awful. I wouldn't do it now for nothing.
I had never seen a chicken after somebody cut its head off. And our next door was neighbor years ago. She lived right there on Emmett Avenue at Robin Town, and she had a chicken out there. And I was outside playing, and I got to watching her, and she'd chopped that thing's head off, and that chicken started running, and I just knew it was going to get me. It scared me to death. I was just little. But it is a scary thing if you've never seen the chicken after it's got its head cut off. It just keeps a running.
Oh, it does.
Well, y'all have a good day.
Thanks, Brenda.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I watched them kill hogs and ate the sausage later on, and you have to do that late in the year when it's cooler.
I know, yes.
And I went into the chicken house and got eggs.
Oh, we had a lot of chickens with eggs, yeah.
And I didn't like them chickens pecking on me.
And, well, you have to kind of tame them a little bit. But we did the same thing. Went out and stuck a hand under the chicken, got our eggs.
She'd sing to you.
Yeah. yeah.
The ones at my uncle's house always just pecked me.
Yeah.
They didn't like me, period.
Really did. But you first you get the eggs, then you go out and slop the hogs, and then you go over and milk the cow, and then you go home and eat supper. And it's now it seems gross.
But it's just part of everything that needed to be done.
Yeah.
Now tell us who your parents were.
My parents was Kaz and Lily Mae Patterson. Daddy worked at Magic Chef. Well, Dixie Foundries. I've got a lot of stuff from Dixie Foundry than Magic Chef for 48 years.
That's when you got a job and you kept it.
And he got a job. He actually worked there before he went to the Army. And he must have just been like 16 years old then. Mm-hmm. Then he came back and went right back to work at then. And then you got a job. And, yes, you kept it. And you kept it till you got tired of it and had to quit or whatever. But
that's not true anymore. It's like every 6 months, every 7 months, a year or something like that. When I was at the cable company, we'd get 200 applications in there, and I'd look up and someone had 3 jobs this year. Well, I wasn't going to be their 4th.
Yeah.
Because they're looking for their 5th. And
I think now with the temporary services, that's so much more true than it used to be.
Yeah.
So what year did your dad retire?
Let's see.
Decade.
Married in 62, about 63 or 64.
So what year was he born?
1909.
Okay.
Yeah.
So see, my dad was born in 1918. So they knew each other.
Yeah.
You know, I recall going to Kaz's house with my mom and dad.
Yeah, my mom was born in 1919, so my mom and your dad was about the same.
And they
age.
lived in the same neighborhood because my dad lived over on where Buddy Stevenson owns the farm, and she was over at close to Mr. Ogle's house, I would think.
Yeah. Well, we lived on Million Road, which connects Glad Springs to Spring Place. And I remember, when we were growing up, you knew every car that came by. You knew what time to look for it. And if somebody didn't go by 3:45, it's supposed to go there at 3:45. You just wonder, I wonder where Mr. Scott's at, or wonder where somebody else is at, because they didn't come by. But it was so funny because we sit in the front porch in the front yard all the time, and you just knew every car that went by there. You knew who it was, what time they went, what time they go. And if it's an unusual time, something's happened because there goes so and so out of the house.
Yeah, you didn't go unless it was a need.
Yeah. What I know the most, I grew up at the corner of Spring Place in Durkee, so I was father.
You was almost in the city.
Almost in the city back then, but back when I worked with the sheriff's department, I went to Million Curve a lot.
Oh yes, Million Curve.
When it rained, someone had the Million Curve and Tasso Lane. That was the 2 places you had to go.
That curve on Million Road, and it's not that bad, but they slide off all the time around.
Spin around there,
As a matter
off
of
in
fact,
the ditch.
My first husband, Gene, had his only wreck I think he'd ever had on Million Curve. And the thing of it was, he was letting somebody else drive his dad's car. And he slid off that road there, and they wouldn't call the police because they didn't want his dad to know where they'd wrecked at or what they was doing out there and who was driving the car. And it was a big deal at that time.
Most time we got out there, it was just the people have slid off into the ditch. And there's not a lot of damage, but you got to get your car pulled out, which involves a wrecker and blocking the road. So we'd go out there and sit. Very seldom did we work a wreck where there was injuries or cars, and we'd say, "Do you need a report?" No, we don't need a report.
Now there's a little white house there at Million Curve. Is that an old farmhouse? Or was there an original big house there?
No, I know. Yeah, that's Whaley's, I think, lived there, but and the Mantus was behind that. But I don't remember it being anything but a small house. I don't remember a big house there.
Yeah, well,
it just looks like one of those places where an old house would have been sitting. I imagine that was an older farm-looking house, and they've put siding and stuff on it.
I always remember that house there because, I went down that road over to 411 down to Tinga for the grandparents. But what I remember the most, just back what we call Million Curve, there's a piece of coal up there. It looks like a dog.
Oh, yeah. Now
that's been there forever. And I used to, that was an amazing thing to me.
Now,
I still mention it as I go by.
Are you talking about on the right or the left?
On the right as you go around you get.
Curve. Yeah. Oh, that's Johnson's house. And Rita Johnson, who graduated with me, a good friend, found that back there in the woods, and she painted it to look like a dog. And I was always fascinated with that. She put that thing up like
Now, is it a rock or a piece of coal?
It's a rock, but she painted it black.
Okay.
So we always thought it was a piece of coal.
It's a rock. It's the actual rock that she found, and she painted that thing. Mm-hmm. And that's like middle 50s, I guess. But we were so fascinated with that rock.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. It's just beautiful.
And we'd drive by there, and my dad used to say, "Well, look at that piece of coal. That's where you got it." So that's what the legend was.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Now it's a rock.
It's a rock that
it's
she
even more
painted.
impressive.
Yeah. And the fact that she painted it made it look like. I mean, she just saw it. She's artistic anyway, and she painted that rock and set it out there, and I was just like, I thought it was wonderful. I still think it's wonderful.
Now,
I think that's the old Roberts farm from the 1800s.
If you go around Million Curve and go up the hill. What was the old school on the left up there? It's converted to a house.
Wooten's?
I guess.
Wooten School, yeah.
Is that building still there?
They've just converted, I think, into a house. I think the old building, part of the old building is there.
Yeah, it's still there. Yeah, it was a school, and someone turned it into a house.
Yeah, but it was Wooten School. And then Liberty
the Liberty School has been turned into a house, too.
A church, now maybe a house. I don't know what it is. But that's where I went to school. We started out with 3 rooms, and we finally ended up with just 2 rooms. Miss Fitzsimmons was there the entire time I knew about it. Then when I was in the 5th grade, we got sent to Valley View, which was the big school with inside bathrooms and a cafeteria.
Boy, you was in big time then.
Yeah, we'd never seen a school with inside bathrooms. But it was great. And we was one of the last. I mean, number 4 went there, and what was some of the others that went there? And then Liberty was the last one to be sitting
Was
down
there a
there.
Sunnydale or that may have been an old one that closed before you were around? Yeah. Union School.
Union School went there. Number 4 went there, and it seemed like there was the 3rd one down off of where Samples Memorial Church is at. I think there was a school down there somewhere that got converted into Valley View.
I don't remember that
and then
one.
Liberty was the 4th one.
Hey, folks, you're listening to Whoop FM 99.9, or you can go to the internet at www.whoopfm.com. Today we got Mary Lou Patterson here, and we're talking Patterson Woods.
Patterson Cleghorn Woods.
All right,
there you go. We'll just call her Mary Lou.
Well, she was a Patterson, and I forgot to add all that. So, anyways, you're all those. Mary Lou Patterson.
Cleghorn
Woods. Cleghorn. I got to think of the rooster, don't I?
Yeah, he's Indian.
He's Foghorn, Ron.
Oh, Foghorn Cleghorn.
Call her Foghorn.
That's
Foghorn Cleghorn. And we're talking about canning and whatever else you want to talk about today. If your grandmother canned or your mother canned, or if you've messed up canning, if you have a story about the pressure cooker blowing up,
or if you want to can,
or if you have any of those kerosene pickles like Aunt Bee made on Barney 5. We want to know. Make sure your mom's not listening if you call in and talk about her kerosene
Mary Lou,
pickles.
let me ask you. Most of the time, our bread and butter pickles turn out really good, and one batch of them was kind of soggy. Did I overcook them?
Probably. If they're soggy, was. Now, honey, child, they got this stuff called Mrs. Wage's bread and butter pickle mix.
Just buy that.
And you can also buy this little thing. It's called Crispit for pickles, and you can make them really, more crispy that way. So they've revised that, and you can do it easier. But yes, if they were soggy, you overcooked them.
Okay.
Don't do that anymore.
It's a fine line.
Yeah.
Between you think you got them hot enough to can and
Yeah.
They're too well
And
done.
Really, all I do now, I don't cook them actually. I just water bath them, but you can water bath them.
Well,
too.
tell me what water bathing is.
Water bathing is where you put them in a big, of course, my big pots, put them in a pot and cover them with water and boil them for 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That seals them. That's all the cooking that you need for them.
So you just put your pickles and stuff in the jar,
Yep.
and then you water bath them. Okay.
We used to, and we still do this, is put them on ice and let them sit on for ice for a long time.
Yeah.
and
Now,
then
see,
cook
that's
'em.
just what we
And-
saw our moms do, so
Right.
we don't know if we have to do that anymore or not.
And you also, in that ice water, put some salt. But
Mhm.
then
We
you have
do.
to rinse the salt off of them.
Right.
That makes them crispier. Yeah.
That's
but
what we've tried to do.
now I use
But
so
they're
we just need to put
crispy.
we need to put them in the sink with the salt and the ice, and then we can pack them in the jars, and then just heat the jars for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
and we're
After
good.
you put your vinegar and
Yeah,
spices
all
in
that
there.
other stuff. Yeah.
And then-
Okay.
So you just cook it right in the jar then?
Yeah.
Oh,
For 10 minutes. That's all it takes. So it's
That's
really
We
that'd
learned-
be easier.
We learned something there today.
Now, don't cook your pickles before you put them in the jar. Put 'em
I
in the jar
learned
We've
that
always
Ron
cooked
can
them.
make a really big mess when he cans.
Oh yeah.
And
Don't
it's
make a mess in your own kitchen. Come down to the counter where it's nice and hot and
I can-
steamy. At least you can get a sauna while you're down there.
Oh.
You can also get, facials because all this steam coming out of there, it does wonders for you. But come on down there. We clean up your mess, or you clean up your own mess, but we clean up the cannery after everybody leaves. And do it in the big pots and do a whole bunch at one time. I mean, we can do a bushel of pickles at one time in our little pots. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, it's no sense
So
in doing it
that
at
makes it
home.
a little harder at home because when you cook on our stove, most people have a hood above it, and if you're how big your can, your pot is, you can't get the
we don't have
jars
very
out.
much room between our
And
counter. our top
also,
and the-
if you've got a glass top stove, you're going to break it.
yeah, we don't have one.
Hey, good morning. You're on live on Old Town Cleveland or something like that.
Where
Go ahead.
nothing is working this morning. Good morning.
Hey, if you go outside, you wouldn't get all that heat and have.
There you go.
Yeah, but how many people's got something outside they can cook on nowadays? They done away with the big old wash pots, and they don't have the fire grills anymore. Now, people do cook on turkey cooker, basters, whatever the things are, or their grills, but I sure would want to stick one on my grill.
I used to live up out of Asheville. Debbie knows where Hot Springs is.
Uh-huh.
I lived about 20 miles from there, and I used to take a wash tub. Them old people up there in the mountains.
But I don't have a wash tub.
Yeah.
But this is the way they used to do it.
Water to boil. You can put 24 quarts of beans in there and cook them, and then let the fire go out and cover them up with a old piece of plywood or something other. Next morning, go out and get them out.
Yeah, but at my place, you can put 18 quarts in a pressure cooker, and 25, 30 minutes, you can take them out.
That's much easier. But I do appreciate. Oh wait, so you could make 24 quarts in a wash tub. I mean, in a
wash tub.
Yeah.
In a wash tub.
Now, why did you have to wait till the next day? Why couldn't you can them sooner?
You let them cool off overnight, and they would seal, and it was too hot to get out of there.
Yeah, they are.
But my dad, he worked for Bob Easterly till he died down at the cabin shop, and we'd go up there every year vacation. And my uncles, they'd be 4 or 5 of them get together and they'd go squirrel hunting. They'd come home, they'd build a big fire outside and skin them squirrels and cook them, and the women take them in the house and can squirrels.
Oh my God! I hope they cut them up because it looked too much like a canned rat.
Well,
you can also make loopy out of that,
What's loopy?
I was 10 or 12 years old, and I'm Ron's age now.
Do you know what loopy is?
No, I don't. Tell me.
Loopy is where you take that broth where you cook those squirrels, and then you skin the squirrels, put the meat in there, and you add cornmeal and hot peppers to it and make a soup. And it is absolutely out of this world fabulous.
Never heard of that.
It's great. It's great.
My mom told me when she was a little girl, she was raised up there, Madison County, and they'd kill the hogs and make sausage, and they put the meat the sausage in a crock pot, and said her mama would run her hand down in that crock pot and get that sausage out and fry it. And when that grease cooled, she'd pour it back in there, and they just kept a cloth on it. No refrigeration, no nothing.
Wow.
I've never heard of that one. Now, I've heard of people making sausage patties and put some grease over it. Then you went ahead and filled it up with, I think, just water. I'm not sure about that can of sausage patties, but then we don't do that now. But a lot of people do that.
I think my mom would cook the sausage patties and put them down in the jar, and you'd pour grease on top of them, and you just turned them upside down. You didn't put any water or anything in them.
Right.
Yeah.
And
maybe,
I don't. She didn't do that
Yeah.
often, so I really don't remember.
I got mine from Jimmy Dean.
Your daddy probably made your sausage.
My dad did.
Thank
make
you so
sausage.
much.
Bye bye.
I just love our callers.
Yeah, my dad actually made sausage and cured hams and things.
And
like
the other
that.
day, Ron looked at me and said, "I wish I had paid attention."
Yes.
Don't we all say that? Oh, I wish now. My grandfather was Zach Hawkins, and people would actually bring their kids, and this sounds terrible nowadays, to him to cure them. And he made teas, and he'd take all these roots and stuff, and he did all this stuff. He had some salve he put on poison oak that he made, and stuff like what that stuff that babies get in their mouth. I forgot what it is. Thrash.
Did he
And all
blow
that.
smoke in their mouth?
Blowed smoke in their mouth. That's exactly right. And I told my granddaughter the other day her baby has thrash or had thrash, and I said, well, Grandpa used to do something and blow smoke in their mouth, and
she probably said, stay away from my baby.
Well, she said, what kind of smoke's what she said. I said, I have no idea because he didn't smoke.
It was just
What
I saw my grandpa do that, and I thought, I was probably 13 years old, and I thought, oh my gosh, what is he doing to that baby? Because he'd take a puff of that smoke, and he'd lay that baby down, and when it'd cry or open its mouth, he'd just blow that smoke right in its mouth. And of course, the poor little baby kind of choked and carry on, but I think it probably just ran its course and got better.
Yeah, it may have.
I think what that, like, they used to give you cod liver oil.
Oh gosh.
Well, basically, what that was, if you complain, you're getting cod liver oil.
Cod liver oil cured complaining.
I don't feel complaining.
We got it whether we had complained or not. And then he made like sassafras tea and ginseng tea and all that good stuff going on all the time. So, but it was marvelous. I just wish I'd kept notes.
Yes, and I know that my dad's grandmother was one of those people that doctored and stayed with women after they had their babies and did all that kind of stuff. And she did those kind of remedies. And when people had gum disease, they'd go get a stick off of a gum tree and you'd rub your gums with it and, all that kind of stuff. And I wish we had paid better attention.
And he also went to people come and get grandpas to go out and hunt wet water so they could dig their wells and make their ponds. And he had this
dividing
rod, witching stitch, whatever they called it. And he'd just go grab his stick and take off with them, come back in the afternoon. They'd start digging their wells.
Yeah. Yeah. No questions asked.
Right.
If Grandpa said it was there, they knew it was there.
Yep.
You can call us here at 614-5553. Mary Lou Woods. Is here with us, and we were talking about canning and just growing up country. We always get into any kind of history of the community or talking about canning. So we want to hear about your canning and the problems or the strange things that they canned, or if anybody made kerosene pickle type stuff. We'd love to hear a story like that.
We wouldn't mind hearing some moonshine stories.
That's
moonshine stories
are always good. I think the funniest thing is I mean, if you could eat it, my mom would can it because she had to, and she wanted to.
Yeah.
And but she never invested in a thermometer, and she'd make jelly. And one time it'd be syrup and it'd runny, and the next time it would be,
Debbie, you're talking about me.
I made something like that last year.
You dip it out and it'd just stick to the spoon, but whatever she made, it was eaten, so it didn't matter.
Oh, I don't care if it's runny or not. They just pour it on your pancakes.
I know.
Yeah.
And the way I do mine, just let it drip off the spoon, like you did then. That's the way I judge my jelly. And sometimes I get ready.
Yeah.
Let's get this caller.
Good morning. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Yes. I wanted to tell a little story about Mary Lou. She's a blessing to the neighborhood.
Wait, who is this?
It's Mary Bagley.
Well, good morning, Mary. I hope you're feeling well.
I am feeling better. My husband went there Monday and canned 39 pints of half-runner green beans
Oh, gosh, sounds delicious.
with Mary Lou's help. So I want everybody to know what a blessing she
Well, you're just going to have to prove that to me.
That they're good.
Yeah, I mean, I had to see them,
That's great. Did you guys grow the beans?
No, we did not.
Well, that's okay with me. Now, Ron likes to play in the dirt, so he grows a few things, but I'm just as happy to go buy it from another farmer.
Yes, I did. We did, and but Mary Lou helped Charles can the green beans, and they are beautiful.
Well, thank you, Mary, and I love Charles.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Success story.
Yes.
We'd
All
like to
mine are
hear
success
those.
stories.
If you've used the cannery, give us a call and tell us what you've canned. We'd like to know that. The cannery is on Peerless Road.
Myrtle, you can call if you want to.
Yeah.
Mary Lou, what do you think's the hardest thing to get right canning? Or is it all, if you know what you're doing, it's all fairly simple?
It's all fairly. Jelly is one of the main things that you want to get right because I help with all the jellies. I don't, most people don't trust their own, just is this thick enough type thing, But we do a lot of jellies, and relishes is another thing. You have to, soak your relish in salt and then get all the salt off of it and make sure that it's the right flavor before you start pickling it up, putting the stuff into pickle. But that's two of the hardest things. Pickled beets, that's another one. Pickled beets are so easy. People think they're hard, but they're not. It's just getting them canned and putting them in the jar and then making the right syrup to put on them. Really, really easy. And but up at the cannery, actually, I guess it's because I love it so much and I have so much fun up there. I don't feel like anything's hard. We have
I
great
sense
success
that.
with
I
everything.
think you probably think this is such a blessing to be there.
I don't know. I just got played a song for some reason.
Good. We need a little.
This
entertainment.
place is haunted today.
This is just like the cannery, folks. It's everything goes on.
I probably bumped the keyboard. If you touch it, it goes, let's play something. Pickled beets.
Pickled beets.
Okay.
That's Ron's
Now,
favorite.
I love pickled beets. I like
Oh, we should have known. I brought you some.
I like the little round ones or the sliced ones or just pickled beets. Now,
But they're not the same in the store. when
Where
you get
do
'em.
you go buy pickled beets at? And
You mean beets?
Beets. I mean, where do you go buy the beets at? Because I don't remember seeing them in the
Farmer's
store.
market.
Okay, and then
when are they
does
out,
it-
Mary Lou?
Does it normally
Right now.
turn red, or is that just something you add to it?
No, the pickled beets, they are that purple color. Now, we've got sugar beets out. I've not seen so many sugar beets this year as last year, but one of my farmers does grow sugar beets, and they are a white beet that's got a red stripe in them, and they turn pink. It's a light pink.
Oh, it's got to be
But
red.
normal beets, that's what everybody comes in.
Yeah,
They don't want
it's
those
gotta be.
pink ones.
Hey, go ahead, caller.
Hey, Nanny, I just wanted to give you a shout out.
Isn't she doing a good job? I guess that was
Are you
it.
still there? Natalie, get your phone back on.
Thanks for calling, Natalie. Ron, do we want to go to break now?
Yeah, we do.
Hey, folks, we're going to be back with you in about 5 or 6 minutes. And when we come back, I think we'll be talking to Kathy Carnes, and she'll be telling you that she's going to be inviting you down to Jenkins Restaurant Tuesday night at 6:30. So we'll be back in just a few moments.
And get your nerves up and call us about all your canning problems and questions here on Whoops at 614-5553. We'll be back in a minute.
You are listening to WOOP-LP, Cleveland, Tennessee. Whoop FM is a broadcasting service of the Traditional Music Resource Center, and we play America's original music.
You need money overnight? Check into cash. Your time is tight. .com. Bank account's too low? Check into cash. So where do you go? .com. Do it online in a record time. It's the easy way to get money next day. Do a quick click from home at checkintocash.com. Just stay in the house. Check into cash and grab your mouse. .com. Get your money online. Check into cash right on time. .com. You can be sure it's secure from our bank straight to yours. Do a quick click from home at checkintocash.com. No time to get away. Check into cash. You gotta stay home.com. Hey, that's okay. Check into cash. You can do it alone.com. Any old time, do it online. Just stay in the house and grab your mouse. Do a quick click from home. Get your money overnight at the right website. Do a quick click from home. Go to checkintocash.com.
Wheeler Technologies has moved. Visit them at their new location at 490 Grove Avenue Southwest next to Bradley Rentals. Same great folks, same great service with a better location to serve you. Call Wheeler Technologies for voice, data, and security needs at 664-TECH. That's 664-8324. And remember, depend on Wheeler Technologies for the current time and temperature every day at 476-1111. Tennessee Alarm Contractor C1750.
All of my friends that I loved yesterday have gone. They have gone home. Gone home. They have gone home. The songbirds are singing, the dells seem to say have gone. They have gone home. Gone. They have gone home. They've joined the heavenly fold. They're walking the streets of pure gold. They left one by one as the work here was done. Gone home. They have gone home. Gone home. They have gone home. Life here is lonely since they've gone before. Gone. They have gone home. Gone. They have gone home. The old weeping willow that stands by the door sadly sighs. They have gone home. Gone home. They have gone home. They've joined the heavenly fold. They're walking the streets of pure gold. They left one by one as the work here was done. Gone home. They have gone home. Gone. They have gone home. They've joined the heavenly fold. They're walking the streets of pure gold. They left one by one as their work here was done. Gone home. They have gone home. Gone home. They have
That's Gone Home. It's a song that we play every week in dedication to all those people.
Criminal court is where the most serious cases are tried.
Man, today is not our day. All right.
That's the song we play for all those folks that passed on.
And we'd like to mention my cousin down in Chatsworth, Georgia, Johnny Bradley, Johnny Howard Bradley.
She and her husband ran the hardware store and the lumber yard there. So some folks may remember him from that.
And then her dad was Raleigh Howard, and who was big in the horses down in the Chatsworth area there. So she passed on, and all those other folks in the thing. And we always say, you know, when someone dies in the community, so does that history die.
So we have to preserve that. And she was quite a historian.
She was very good at it.
Ron, we got a good friend of ours on the phone. We have Kathy Carnes, and we've lost her.
Kathy, call back.
Mary Lou, things usually work a little better than this.
Well, I hope not, because this is about what I'm used to.
We're kind of like we're being possessed today. But anyway, Kathy, call us back. And we were going to talk to Kathy for just a few minutes. But while we were taking a break, Mary Lou was talking about her husband's adventures on the radio, and we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. Okay. I think it's very interesting.
Go ahead, caller. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Hey, this is Kathy Carnes.
Oh, yay, Kathy. We're having one of those Murphy Law days.
I got cut off, so I called back.
Thank you.
Good. How are you, Kathy? How's things going?
Things are going great. How are my favorite radio broadcasts?
We're doing better now since you said that.
Kathy, just take a couple of minutes to tell everybody maybe your adventures for the last year as Kathy, most of you know, was Mrs. Carnes at Michigan Avenue, and she took her retirement and has gone into the gospel music industry since then.
Well, it looks like I've taken the musical ball and I'm running with it.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm having a great time this past year. I have recorded an album called Faithful to the End with Roger Talley, and it is just going very well, and I'm so proud of the project. And just recently got back from New York City and was able to sing a selection from my song there on our mission trip. Had a great time there. And just before that was at the gospel gathering in Gatlinburg and had a great time there on the showcase. And then just recently, I was at Pleasant Grove Church and had a great time with some of your relatives.
That's right. I got a bunch of relatives at that church.
We had an awesome time of worship. Absolutely enjoyed it. Can't wait to go back there sometime.
Well, we're sorry we missed it. We'd had a death in the family, and we were at the funeral home that night, and we'd much rather been with you.
That's what I had heard through the grapevine. But we just had a great time. And I've got actually a singing engagement coming up at Jenkins Deli this coming Tuesday on the 29th out there on the patio at 6:30. Kay had asked me to come and share some of my music, maybe share some of my Carpenter's music, go back to the 1970s just for a little while, and then share my present album that I've just recorded.
Well, now, will your dad, Doc German, be dancing to that Carpenter's music?
You know what? I may have to request him. There's a song called Masquerade. I may have to request him to just take a lady in the audience and just dance around a little bit.
There you go.
Did you get your singing talent from Doc?
Negatory.
Okay.
But you did get it from your mother.
That would be from my mom and my mom's side of the family. I'm a German, and I love the Germans, but I can't. I really don't know. They may have to get back to me on that, but I can't think of a German that is a singer. Maybe they can help me with that. They sure are talented people in other ways.
So you're going to be at Jenkins Deli 6:30 Tuesday night.
Tuesday on the 29th, this coming Tuesday.
And tell people where they can pick up your CD.
Cherokee Pharmacy. It's very easy to get to. It's on 25th Street, 25th and West Side. And they have those CDs right there at the register.
Oh, Kathy, we're going to let you go. And I think
before you go, this is what it sounds like. So this is a good CD, folks. I have it, and I've heard it, and I thought I'd lost it. I was looking through it, and I put it in the other bag, and thank goodness I found it. So, Kathy, thank you so much.
There's some more where that came from, so if you lose it, let me know.
All right, well, great. As we go there, here's a little bit more Kathy. Bye-bye,
Bye, Kathy.
Okay, bye-bye.
Through the good, the bad, the sad times, my soul will always lift up a shout. I will sing my praise to the Ancient of Days, Jehovah.
That's a local person singing it. Boy, isn't that great?
That's good.
That is some good stuff. Kathy Carnes, you can get them at Cherokee Pharmacy, I understand, right? Is that right, Deb?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, good morning. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Good morning. I was calling to ask a question about canning.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. My neighbor has been teaching me how to can, and we've canned jelly, and we've made soup, and all kinds of green beans. But I don't know how exactly to can corn, and I didn't know if it would be easier to can a whole bunch by coming to the cannery here in Cleveland or trying to do it at home. I read that it takes an hour and a half. Is that right?
We do not can corn at the cannery. Okay. There's two things we don't can. One of them is corn, the other is cabbage, and meat. The reason we don't can corn is it's non-acid. You can't put vinegar in it, and you can't put a lot of salt in it. So we just don't can it. It carries too much salmonella. What we suggest is come to the cannery, put your corn in the steamer, steam it for about 7 minutes, and shuck it, and then cut it off and put it in your freezer. That's the only safe way to do corn. It's not really safe to can it. So I prefer you freeze it.
But if you can make corn relish or something.
You can make corn relish, anything that's got vinegar or a lot of sugar. Okay. You can put corn in your vegetable soup. You can put it in anything else you want, but don't can it. But it has to be just a portion of corn and not the whole thing corn. You've got to have some acid in there with it.
Freeze it.
Freeze it.
Yeah.
You don't want salmonella.
All right. Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Thank you
but
for
you
calling.
can come down there now and help and do it easier to freeze it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're so
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you. Great question.
So would she need an appointment to come?
No, if you just come in with your corn and just use the steamer and don't have to use one of the pots or the canners, you don't have to have an appointment. You can just come in and do that. But when you come in, I'll show you what to do.
How long does it take to steam it?
7 minutes for about 3 dozen.
Wow, that's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Let me ask you this: from the time you started coming to the cannery to now, has the number of people coming in increased?
I'd say it has. Like I said, last year we did 22,564 jars of food. And this year, I think we're going to go over that.
Well, after being on this show, it's going to triple. Right after.
I may have to have another building, Bradley County.
All right. Hey, we got a caller. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, this is RD.
Hey, RD. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, enjoying a beautiful morning here.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, I've got 2 stories.
Go ahead.
ahead.
To let you choose which one you want to hear.
No, we want to hear both of them. Go ahead.
Well, all right. Every family's got the family story that when you get reunions you laugh about. And the first story is what we call the pickle beet story. Back in the mid-'60s, I had a little nephew who loved pickled beets. Well, one night before he went to bed, he snuck an entire jar out of the refrigerator and ate them. So the next day, pickled beets being, I've got to choose my words carefully,
Red.
Pickled beets being the high-fiber food that they are, nature took its course. And he hit the bathroom, and being only about 5 years old, like most little kids, he didn't flush the toilet. His father come in behind him and thought, oh my God, my kid is bleeding out from the inside. So they grabbed Robbie, and Bob his dad Bob, he even takes a sample of this, and away they go to the emergency room. And they get in there, and the kid, now Robbie, he's scared. He does not know what has happened. All he knows, he's in trouble. He's in the hospital. He don't want to be there. So he ain't saying nothing. And of course, they're like, are you hurting? Nope, ain't saying a word. So they get there, the doctor looks at this sample, he's like, oh my God. So they start running tests on this poor kid. And nature's still taking its course. So the doctors are freaking out. Mom and Dad are thinking, oh, we're losing him. You know, he's just bleeding away internally. So by the end of the day, things are cleared up. The doctors can, there's nothing wrong with this kid. It's a miracle. Just take him home and watch him. So Bob, they get the kid home, to get him ice cream. And meanwhile, Robbie, he ain't saying nothing. He's, I don't know what just happened, but I got away with it. Ain't nobody whipping me. So Bob puts him in bed, and he's tucking him in bed, and he walks around the other side of the bed, and here in the floor is an empty jar of pickled beets. So that is the pickled beets.
Okay.
So,
That's a good one, too.
That.
And I used to eat that many pickled beets, and I understand very well.
So now fast forward here to, I reckon, the early 2000s. I live out here in Harris Creek, and I went crazy with a garden. I grew a garden one year up here that was where an old barn used to be. And I grew 36 Roma tomato plants and got 450 pounds of Roma tomatoes. And I love peppers, and I grew the best sweet banana peppers that year. They were beautiful. Just gorgeous. So I've been working for several years on my pepper recipe. I wanted peppers that would snap. I'm just tired of soggy peppers, and I've been working. So finally, I had peppers, bushels and bushels of different kinds of peppers. I'd take them to the Mexican restaurants and trade for meals and everything. And so anyway, I read this recipe about brining peppers. I said, okay, I'll try that this year. It says it'll be crispy. So I get these big old pots, and I've got bushels of these beautiful banana peppers. Put them in a heavy salt brine, follow the recipe, let them sit, turn them, do all this stuff. Nowhere in that recipe did it say to rinse them peppers off before you can them. So I canned them peppers. Well, of course, they've been sitting in this heavy, heavy salt brine, and then you put more salt in your mixture to can them. So these peppers, they sat there in that jar, and I was looking at them for weeks and go by, and finally my son had his girlfriend over, and I've got 36 quarts of these beautiful peppers. I said, I'm going to try one and impress my boy's girlfriend. cracked open that jar, and I mean, that pepper just snapped. I was like, I got it now. I bit into that pepper, and I said, if you'd have ate that whole pepper, I think it could have killed you. There was so much salt. I mean, you could have put that thing on a slug, and it would have just sizzled in the I mean, 36 quarts, and they were inedible.
8 B's pickles.
Yeah.
Oh, they were pickled, and I think your liver would have just shriveled right up.
Your blood pressure went up instantly when you bit into it, right?
Oh man, those things! I had to go dump all them out. So, but I'm gonna do at least one or probably 2 huge gardens. We got my mom and dad here now, and we've been doing some jelly and some canning. But we did corn. You talk about corn. We did cream corn that year. I had that huge garden. I had 130 pounds of creamed corn. That was not counting the cob. That's just the creamed corn. So, but we do corn, and my wife's real good at it. But yeah, you got to be careful with it. But we only fry it when we have the corn. So, but we all take care now. And
thank you so much.
If you perfect that pepper recipe, let me know.
Yeah, we'll test it real good first. Family reunions. I remember at a family gathering. I think it may have been a Thanksgiving, and I got the sweet potato thing on my plate, and we were sitting there, a bunch of sitting around eating, and somebody says, "Where's the whiskey in this?" So my brother-in-law had made sweet potato pie with Jack Daniels, and we're all
there's a recipe in that,
and we're sitting there eating, and then you're just eating everything, and all of a sudden Jack Daniels or a whiskey hits your mouth, and we're all looking at each other going, what's got the whiskey in it? And everybody would sample something different on a plate, and I said, sweet potato.
Tell everybody what I made you last night.
What did you make me last night? Hamburgers. Oh, squash casserole. It's from the it's a 35-year-old recipe come out of the mountains, and they used to serve it at this restaurant up in Gatlin or in Townsend that was very, very good, but that restaurant's closed now. But we got the recipe, and Deb made it. And the squash casserole, it's a big joke about squash casserole at our house, but it was very, very good. There was nothing left.
Oh, good. Okay.
I didn't eat it all. My 2 kids and their spouses and my granddaughter.
But the Jack Daniel in sweet potatoes it leaves it's kind of like a charcoal taste to it, but it really does enhance your potatoes, and you cook the alcohol out of it, so it's not.
He didn't.
I think this needs a little bit more cooking because I was getting a little tipsy there eating the sweet.
At least it was a happy reunion.
I only had 5 helpings of it. Go ahead, caller.
Well, hello there.
Hello.
Hey, Kim.
Jeffrey Mullen.
Yes.
And I had a question for Mary Lou.
Go right
Here
ahead.
I am.
I heard you talking about that recipe for loopy.
Yes.
Well, I got about 20 squirrels down here. I usually make some nice squirrel socks out of their furs.
Uh-huh.
And I was thinking about making some loopy with the leftover meat.
Okay. With the leftover.
Down there, you show me how to make it.
Yeah, but we made it in a big old, like 25-gallon pot, so you'll have to reduce it down. But we would start stirring cornmeal, just plain old yellow cornmeal, into that loopy. And then they'd throw about 12 or 15 really hot peppers in there and let that stuff boil down till it was just a thick gravy. And it is absolutely wonderful. Now, it's hot if you do it like we did it. Huh?
That sounds good.
It is good. We always did it in the mountains where it was cold, and we'd make a big old cast iron pot of that stuff and set up there. And everybody come by and stop and eat some of it, because they knew what it was. But we'd put about 25 squirrels in there and boil them down till the meat come off the bone, and take the bone out, and then add that cornmeal and add the hot peppers. And it really is good. I mean, it's wonderful.
Ron's trying to figure out what that might taste like.
It tastes like kind of like chicken gravy with cornmeal instead of flour, but it's real good.
Sounds loopy to me.
It is. You're going to feel loopy after you eat a bunch of it.
Name.
It is good. So.
Well, thank you, Mary Lou. I appreciate the information.
Try it.
Bring her squirrels and they'll do it.
Bring us some loopy.
Well, the juice. Bring the juice.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It's the squirrel that ate all my tomatoes last year. I would have liked to.
Yeah, we would
add
him to your loopy.
Yeah. We got another caller.
I put cayenne peppers on it on my tomato plants to try to get rid of it. It was a Mexican squirrel. It ate those.
It ate them, and then your loopy tasted hot,
yeah.
too.
Go ahead, caller. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Yeah, I got a question on pickled okra.
Okay.
Go ahead. I've got a real good recipe for it.
Okay, so my problem is when I do it, I've always heard that you need to cut the stem part a little off to let the vinegar get down into the pod. But heat the vinegar up, put the okra in the jars, and then pour the hot vinegar over it, then water bath it. But it comes out
slimy.
Well, not slimy, just not crisp.
I leave both ends on mine. I don't cut into my okra at all.
Okay.
And then I just put I've got a pickle brine that I pour over it and let it set, and mine are really good. And now when you bite into it, the insides are just a little bit moist, but I've not had any flimsy or anything like that. Mine's really good, but I don't cut the ends off mine. I leave the ends on it.
It will soak on in through it, right?
Yeah.
You think if I'm water bathing too much? Because normally I've always heard 15 minutes. So maybe
10. I water bath 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Maybe that's because it comes out almost when you bite it, it's almost stringy.
Yeah. You probably maybe water bath too much, but no, what I make is really good, but I do not cut my ends off.
Okay, see, I like it when I buy it, from farmer's market or whatever. It's always real crisp.
Yeah,
I've never perfected that.
And get the smaller ones; it'll fit down your jar, so you don't have to cut them. And I think that's the way I do mine. And mine are good.
Yeah. I've also had it where you put a hot pepper pot in there.
And you can put onions in it too. You can put onions and hot pepper in there. But pack your jars really tight. Don't leave your jars flimsy. Get just as many as you can possibly force down in there.
And the only cost of this program today is you have to bring me a jar of it when you get it perfected.
Well, hey, I made 15 pints of hot pepper jelly yesterday. That was really good.
Well,
I love hot pepper jelly.
That would be good payment too.
Yeah. Do you eat yours over cream cheese?
Oh, yes.
Just slab of cream cheese, pour the whole jar out, and eat it with crackers, or eat it on a bagel.
Exactly right.
Oh, I made habanero pineapple jelly last year. It's an orange color. I used orange habaneros, and it has a bite to it. But on cream cheese and toast, it's really good.
Good. Okay. Have you ever made any with ghost pepper?
No, I haven't got that brand.
My grandson went to Nashville and bought this little bottle of ghost pepper, and last year I made his sauce and put ghost pepper in it. And it's fun to watch people eat that.
No, it's not.
I've got a pepper plant growing now that is loaded with peppers. I don't know what I'm going to do with them all, but I'm going to have a bunch.
Well, I've got
blueberry hot pepper jelly is really good.
Oh, that sounds good.
Oh, it does. Now, I've not tried that one.
I planted 4 habanero plants, which usually is a lot of habaneros. Well, 2 of them are these great habaneros, and the other 2 plants were mislabeled. And they're a little long pepper, but not a skinny pepper. They're a little fat, and they're hot. I don't know what they are, but they're good.
Yeah.
I'll have to get someone to identify it.
But I'll try the okra, just less water bath. That sounds good.
Yep, and leave your ends on it.
Okay.
Sounds great. Thanks for calling.
Great question. Pickled okra. I like on salad bar. I really like on the salad bar those pickled okras. Yeah. And what's those little peppers that looks like a little tomato?
The little round pepper on the salad bar.
And when you bite into it, it squirts your neighbor.
I think those are called tamalios or something like that.
I'd like to grow some of those, but I never found the plant. Go ahead, caller. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Hey, Ron.
Hey.
I wanted to ask that woman if she ever made any possum grape jelly.
No, but I used to love possum grapes. We was talking about that the other day down there, and nobody knows what possum grapes are much anymore. But I know I used to climb the tree and sit up there and eat possum grapes. But now we've not made any jelly with possum grapes. As a matter of fact, we did make some huckleberry jelly this year. Somebody had found some huckleberries, and but if we find them and we can, we'll try it. We experiment with everything.
My sister-in-law always makes it. It lives in Georgia, and she sends me some. I love it.
Yeah, the possum grapes are really good.
All right, stop. Tell me what a possum grape is. I've never heard that before now.
You've never heard of a possum grape?
No, ma'am, and I grew up in the country.
City boy.
Well, I'm sort of I was between the country and the city, so tell me what a possum grape is.
They're just a little round grape. They're kind of bitter when you eat them, just off the... But
what kind of tree are they on?
They grow on a vine that usually grows up a tree up at the top of it. You have to climb the tree.
So they get kids to go up there and climb and pick them for them, and then they make the jelly out of them.
Well,
now, Mary Lou, this is Red that we're talking to, and I think that she probably never canned very much in her life because other stuff were in her jars.
She processed a lot of corn.
Okay.
And everything you can think of.
Okay.
Including corn.
Red, do you still can? I know you grow a garden.
I grow a garden, but I don't can. I can a few things, but not as much as I used to.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Well, if you decide to can, the cannery down here just is an unbelievable ideal. And, in my kitchen, it's harder to do because of the vents, and I just have trouble. And I bought Deb a pressure cooker, and she hasn't figured out how to use it yet.
It's easier to do it at home.
But if you're doing
if you're
a
doing
lot,
a small amount, real small amount, yeah.
I wouldn't want to embarrass myself in public. Everything I've
And so we don't know what any of the stuff's called. Hand me that thing that you put on top of the jar so that it don't spill everywhere. You know, we don't know the names of anything, so we're really funny, Cannon.
We have bought.
know the name of it. Just call it a thingamajig.
Whatchamacallit?
Yeah, get that thing over there. We've bought all that can of stuff with the little handles and the little funnels. We're fancy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But we'll can like
You're uptown.
12 jars or something, and then we have to take like a month break.
Yeah.
Did you ever learn anything about that gardening?
Oh, I'm a master gardener now. I passed my class.
Mr. Master Gardener over here can grow the plants. He can't figure out how to kill the ants that have moved into our garden.
Ants are kidding me.
He just fusses.
I grew some peanuts a couple of years ago just because I'd never seen peanuts grow. So I went to grow. I want to see how they grow, and then I read about them and all that. And it's sort of like potato mounded up, and you had to put the bloom. And I went to start digging those up, and Anthony got right there, and I went, those peanuts hurt.
Yeah, he was whelked up.
Ants will eat potatoes too.
Oh well, this I've got some around a pepper plant, and I'm careful what I put there, but ants are just everywhere.
Hey, Red, we planted some sweet potatoes. When do I know when to harvest them? Will the vine die?
When the vine that kindly dies back.
Okay.
Sometimes if you have real pretty vines, you won't have good sweet potatoes.
Okay.
Because sometimes they just turn out to be all vines.
Well, I've got good-looking vines. My best sweet potatoes I grew in my flower pots. I actually put regular sweet potatoes in my flower pots, and then on my front porch, and of course the vines went crazy. And then at the end of the season, I just emptied that out, and I had
I couldn't figure out what in the world, because it was pushing my dirt up to above the top of the flower pots, and I was like, what is going on with our flower pots? And we got to dig around. I don't know, got several pounds of sweet potatoes out of the flower pot.
Well, and then and apparently I didn't get them all out, and so this year I started planting flowers, and there's this rotten sweet potato in there. It says compost.
Compost.
Well, that's exactly what it was.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you, Red.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Oh, we enjoy Red. She didn't even ask about Bob Cash now. I think that love affair's gone now, don't you?
Well, we tried.
Matchmaker.
Matchmaker.
I guarantee Bob Cash's mom at one time canned some things. She's from down there in Tinga, Georgia. Good morning. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Good morning. I have a little bit of a tale to tell.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And I was telling my sister, I said that we got to call and tell this, because it was, I guess everybody's probably done this. With the old pressure cookers, they had those little jimmy things on top.
Mm-hmm.
Steam thing. Well, my stepdaddy couldn't say whatever it was, so he'd call it that old bobber. And he would say, where's that old bobber? And we were like, well, I don't know. You don't know what's an old bobber. You know that old bobber. So every year we'd be looking for that old bobber to go on the pressure cooker.
Oh, the little thing that dances at the top, yeah.
Yeah, that old bobber.
Yeah.
We'd always be buying them.
Uh-huh.
And you could actually go to the store and buy them at that time.
Oh, I remember being a small child, and there was, the hardware store, and all the stores had the Cannon supplies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could get them all. You can go down to, at that time it was in Monroe County, so it was old Sloan's, and we'd go to Sloan's into the hardware part, and they would have the bobbers and the
bobbers
and all that. I have no idea what they're called. That's what we called.
We called them jigglers.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
There's a lot of things. You call it whatever your grandpa called it, and that's what it is for the rest of your life, no matter what they say it is.
I don't know what it is.
What kind of things did your family can?
Everything.
Everything. Anything that they grew, they saved it, huh?
Even, if it was cannibal, it went in the pot.
Mm-hmm.
It went in the jar. So.
Yeah, I think last week one of our guests said that they took this part of the apple and made this. They took this part of the apple and did this.
She said that they would cook the peeling, the apple, and then they cooked the core too, and made stuff on it. Yeah.
You say that, and I was wondering, what do you do with the core?
I don't remember now what she said that they
I
did
think
with it.
they made apple butter. They
You
they
could-
cooked the apple off
yeah.
of it.
Yeah, and you can add, we have
You'd strain it to get all the seeds and stuff out of it.
that's why we do applesauce and apple butter. We've got a machine now that you just run it through. It takes the peeling, the seeds, and the little core part out, and just takes all the meat off of it. And we make apple butter and apple jelly.
But that was just, I thought that was a really good point that in her day and time, you used every single bit of the apple.
Yeah. You use everything. It's like her saying not to cut the end off the okra because they eat that too.
Yeah, that's right.
When they're canning it and just left everything on there.
That's right.
Do you can now?
Me?
Yes.
I work too much.
See, that's the difference, I
You
think,
go to
now,
Walmart, I know.
is that you work and you go to Walmart and buy it.
I would love to, but I just don't have the time. I didn't even put a garden out this year, not even just a couple of plants. And like she just said, everything costs so much. It's almost cheaper for me at this point. I hate to say this. I really, really hate to say this. To go to one of the stores and buy it.
Well, see, that's why we only fix pickles and relishes and things like that, and it is expensive.
And I just, if I grew the cucumbers and I made pickle relish out of it, yeah, it just tickles me to do that, and we may never eat it, you know.
Yeah.
But now the corn relish I made, I don't grow the corn because I don't grow that type of garden. I grow
It's Green Acres when he grows corns, you know.
Oh, well, let me tell you about a plant. One year I got the wild hair I was going to plant, and I planted these peppers, and I got this kind of pepper and that kind of pepper. My husband loves banana peppers. So I planted these peppers all in a nice, pretty row, and I had the corn out there, nice, pretty row, and everything. And I was out there picking those peppers, and my hands were getting redder and redder and redder and redder, and then they started burning. I like to never got that pepper juice off my hands.
Mm-hmm.
You sleep at night with your hands in a bag full of ice because it gets under your fingernails. That's the only way you can sleep.
Oh, no.
Touch my face. Every time I touched my face, it would burn my face. You touch your mouth, and it would burn your mouth, and it was awful. And I never planted peppers again.
Rubber gloves.
Yeah, rubber gloves.
Well, Ron, the first year he planted habaneros, we knew they were hot, but we didn't realize how hot. And he came in and was going to make what we call Mexican cornbread, and he put
4 little ones.
4 in a small pan of cornbread, and it about melted my skillet. I mean, you know, it was just, it was not edible at all. And so from then on, it was like a half or maybe a fourth of a pepper we grind up, put in there.
Basically, what it is now, I put in jalapenos and give the habaneros to other people.
Right.
That's what we do.
There you go.
Nice Christmas presents.
My brother who eats them, and he's like, "Oh, those not hot."
Yeah,
We,
we have a friend that she puts them on the stovetop for just a few seconds in vinegar and boils them
And then
eats
eats
them with a fork. And I just can't imagine, but she's from a different culture that apparently eats hotter stuff than we
Now,
do.
when I made the habanero jelly, I actually wore a scarf around my face and wore rubber gloves because as I cut those habaneros, I needed 16 of them, and they said, danger.
Danger,
And
warning,
the recipe
warning.
said, the fumes off these will hurt you.
Well, this that ghost pepper that Ben bought in Nashville,
that-
you actually had to sign an affidavit to buy that stuff. It's so hot.
Oh, yeah, it's unbelievable. It's the hottest. On the Scoville charts, it says, you know, what it is.
Yeah.
And it's how much parts water to get the burn out. See, bell pepper is none, and a jalapeno is like 7,000 or 8,000. Habaneros are 400,000. Ghost pepper is 2 or 3 million.
Yeah. And he eats that stuff.
I can't do that. Well, thank you so much for being a listener.
Have a great day, guys.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
calling.
much.
Bye-bye.
Good
And I
call.
love it, especially when young people listen to our show. I can tell that she sounded a little younger.
I'm going to tell you, it's going to be tough to beat the pickle beet story.
But now that happens more often than you think it
The-
will.
that one's going to go down as one of our favorite ones.
Right. One thing that did
And loopy.
And loopy. I'm not sure I'd try that, but I'd like to see it.
No.
Ron's mom and I canned soup years and years ago. How do you can soup?
Let me get this call right here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Hey,
didn't
go
see
ahead,
the
caller.
Ron, this is Bob.
Bob Cash.
Bob cans a little bit of moonshine. And, no, sorry.
He
Bob
emptied the
drank
can.
it. That's all right. He emptied the jar so his mom could can in them.
Okay, that's good. Good, nice son.
What I was wondering, I heard Red call in on, you think Red might let me pick around in her garden?
Ron's trying to restrain himself over here not to say what's going through his mind.
What you and Red do in the garden is none of my business now.
What happens in the garden stays in the garden.
Potatoes that shut them eyes. See what we could do now tonight, she can cook us a big old supper of fresh vegetables.
That's right.
Well, she's got them over there.
Yeah.
What time do you want supper?
You tell her to get everything ready, and I'll take my weekly bath, and I'll be on over there.
Well, if she calls back, I've got your number, so she'll call you.
All right.
Bye, Bob. Love you. I wanted to say, too, I think the car show's this weekend.
Last Saturday of the month, that's correct.
Go out and support those people. It's probably one of the largest car shows in this region.
Okay, so today you can have a lot of fun. You can go down to the barbecue, and it doesn't cost you anything to get in today. And
go buy the Tractor Supply, pick you up some milk, take it home,
make some ice cream.
Yeah, and then go down and see the car show. Now they start breaking up about 4:30 or 5 o'clock.
So that's a free day. And then if you want to spend a little money or a lot of money, go buy the farmers market too out on Peerless Road.
There we go.
And buy that stuff and start processes, and then or you may want to make it.
What do I need? I want to make some soup.
You're going to make some soup, okay.
Can I put corn in it?
Yes,
okay.
You can put corn in it, and you can put it, just a regular amount. But I say any vegetables you've got, you can throw into your soup.
That's right.
But basically, you've got to have like onions and tomatoes and potatoes if you want to. You don't have to put potatoes and corn, basics, and then I put celery and
I remember Ron's mom handed me cucumbers and said, now just chop those up real fine, just a small amount of those. It's basically whatever we had went in there.
And
then you put a little salt. Is that what you do, or do you just close it up and can it?
Well, most people do put a little bit of salt in there. I tell you one of the things about salt. When you are at the cannery, you have to use non-iodized salt or canning salt. Mm-hmm. But my thought in this is when you put canning salt in your salt, you're not getting your iodine. Mm-hmm. And that's everybody's got to have some iodine. And then you go home and you're going to resalt it anyway, so you're eating twice as much salt. And I suggest to people that if it's something that you don't have to put salt in, just leave your salt out. And then go home and use your iodized salt, and you're getting your iodine along with your salt, and you're not double salting your foods.
We don't salt our food at home.
No, you don't. We don't add extra salt.
Yeah, we get it in foods, but we've got a thing of Morton's light salt that's probably been there 5 years now.
Okay.
So we don't eat it. Usually guests come over.
Yeah. Well, that's good too, but you need your iodine.
You need a little iodine.
Yeah, if you're not eating iodized salt, you need to take some iodine.
So I put all of my vegetables I get the jars nice and hot, and then I put my mixture.
Okay, stop right there. You don't have to heat your jars.
Okay.
But you do have to sterilize them to use them, though.
No.
Okay.
Not if you're going to pressure them or water bath them. That's going to take care of it. Now, if you want to, it's fine to do that, but it is not necessary.
It just makes me feel better.
If it makes you feel better, go ahead and do it. But if you're doing like 60, 70, 80, 90 jars, that's a lot.
I'm not.
And do not boil your lids. The rubber on those lids nowadays, the ball, I'm sorry, I've wrote you about this already. But they don't put enough rubber on those lids anymore. So don't boil them, because that makes that weakens that rubber.
But the rim you can.
The rim.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah,
but
I don't think we put theirs just in some hot water. We don't boil those. Yeah. I don't think. Well, we have.
We have, but we won't do it anymore.
Because
that's just what I saw.
Do you know how long it takes? If you have a jar sitting here and you have boiled it, do you know how long it takes that same germs to get right back in it till you move it to here?
Yeah.
So boiling is just an extra step that you take for no reason. So if they're clean, they're okay. And then when you put them in your water bath or your canners, they're going to be sterilized.
So are you saying, like, if I drop my toast on the floor and I don't have 5 seconds, the germ?
5 seconds. That's what I said.
Oh, I do have 5 seconds to get the germs.
Not on our floor, you don't.
Well, now you can eat off our floors. There's food there all the time.
Now, Mary Lou, the funny thing is I went out of town a few weeks ago and took a real nice trip out to Tahlequah and Oklahoma and did all this stuff. And Ron dropped a half a gallon of milk while I was gone.
I didn't drop it. It fell out of the refrigerator.
On this, yeah.
And it was not even unsealed. And it popped that lid off, and there's at least 8 gallons of milk all over the kitchen.
I don't know how you get that much milk. It went up my nose.
Dripping off the ceiling.
It covered the inside the refrigerator on the ceiling. Then the rest of it ran down the hall.
You had some extra help. She was there someplace directing something.
Ron, somebody says if you're past 50, you have 15 seconds to pick that toast up off the floor.
Yeah,
You'll
I
probably
can't.
take it.
That's how long it takes. Hey, go ahead, caller. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Hey, Don.
Yes. Yeah, P-Dap.
Mention our barbecue thing down at Foothills Country Fair. We're serving barbecue right now. You get to taste for a mere $5 donation. You get to taste 25 different barbecue vendors.
Now, how long does that go on?
It goes on till 1 o'clock.
Okay, well, see, I get off here at 12, and I'll drive that way.
Yeah, and Bill, I heard you talking earlier. I happen to have the videotape of my mother-in-law killing a chicken.
All right.
The last one she killed, Pam filmed it on tape, and she went from hen house to the chop block to the scalding vat to the cleaning and the cooking process. She's got it all on tape.
Well, we need to see that.
Yes. But right now,
Well,
but
that's
not before chicken dinner.
preserving history.
That
Yeah.
is preserving history.
And I'm not too sure, but she might have us slaughtering a hog too.
Well,
Yep, did that one time.
Yep.
All righty, P-Dave. Thank you, babe.
All right, appreciate
Bye-bye.
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 Hey, barbecue, $5 you get to taste 25 different. Whew, that's a pretty darn
I
good
know
deal.
where Ron's
Isn't
going.
Do you get to-go plates?
it? Yeah.
To go place, yeah. I saw them doing that last year. They had it set up inside some kind of tent, and they sold you your plate and your fork, and you just kind of went down the line, and I think
Yeah, we
got
did
what
that.
you wanted.
Yeah, we did that. Doing. And
Back to the vegetable soup, though.
Yes.
Yes, we're going to throw all those veggies in a pot and put some tomato juice, whatever, in there, and I'll cook it about 15 to 20 minutes, because a lot of times your vegetable soup will separate. You'll have clear juice on the bottom and your veggies floating on top. So you have to cook it until all that is combined really good and cooked together. And then you put it in your pots. You pressure cooker it for 90 minutes because it's got corn in it. And then you take it home with you. So it's really good, but that's one of the best things in the world. Then you put some of his habanero cornbread with it.
There
you got
we
it
go.
made.
Now, you don't put meat in this, right? If you want a beef.
Not when you're canning it, you don't.
No.
When you heat it,
You add
could
that.
cook some beef and
You
add it to it. Then, but
yeah.
not when you're canning.
Not when you're canning.
Okay, who's sick is call? Hey, go ahead, caller.
Hi, my name is Manya.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Vanya, that's my daughter.
You're live on the air with Mom.
How do you listen to me?
I'm on my phone right now.
Oh my gosh, she lives in Maryland.
There we go.
Well, hi, good, happy birthday, darling.
Well, thank you, Mama.
Okay, thank you for calling.
Well, I just wanted to say that I have enjoyed her canning for many, many years.
Uh-huh. So does that mean when you come to visit, you leave with lots of things?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every Christmas, a whole box full.
Well, I'm almost got tears getting to hear from you here. This is a surprise. Thank you for calling, baby.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I love you.
Bye-bye.
So have you got to listen?
You.
Have you got to listen to most of the show?
Yes, my sister called me and told me it was on, so I've tuned in.
Well, now, have you ate any loopy?
And about what?
Have you ate any of what she called loopy? Squirrel soup.
No.
No, she was living in Hawaii about the time we was doing the squirrel soup stuff, but she probably not. Honey, you may get some before it's over with.
Okay.
So this means you need to ask from
Yes,
now on.
ask
Mom,
what it is.
this? Thank you so much for calling. Made her smile real big.
Good.
Bye-bye.
Bye, baby.
Bye-bye.
See, the worldwide internet
it
allows you to
is.
get this all over, and we have people all over the country. We've had
Well,
calls from Iraq back during the Iraq War, called
my
us in,
goodness
and
gracious.
a guy called and said he needed to contact his wife, and would we do that? And she was a waitress at Jordan's Barbecue, and I said, well, great, I will go eat barbecue, and so we went and told her we've talked to your husband today.
And
so,
he's fine.
Wasn't that
That
great?
was
That was fun.
fun.
to
That
do.
was.
That's fun.
Hey, go ahead, caller. You're live.
Hello, this is Marilyn.
Hey, Marilyn,
Marilyn.
what's going on, sister?
Well, they're having a yard sale at Living Waters Church on Hannah Drive.
off of Harrison Pike to raise money for Skylar Bates, little boy in a wheelchair that needs a van so he can get around. And I think it's going to go on till like 4 o'clock, but people need to drop by and see if they can buy something from those folks.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Mr. T wants to talk to you.
Okay, go ahead. Uh-oh.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
I've got a fish truck coming August the 23rd.
Okay, anybody that needs to order some fish, what number can they call you at, T?
478-2405.
Okay.
And, tell us, they got bass, catfish, carp, bluegill.
Carp.
Yeah, everything, and that's the thing you need, toys, too.
Okay, and that'll be set up at the Bradley Farmers Co-op. And they just need to call you and order, or if they don't get around to ordering, they can just show up that day.
If they don't get around, just come on down there. But
what do people need to be putting in their ponds right now, T?
Debbie Hutnoff's going to be assigned down there at that little church Sunday night.
Pleasant Grove United Methodist Church, 6 p.m. Debbie Hutnoff and her group will be down there.
Yeah, Debbie.
Yep. T, what do people need to be putting in the ponds right now to get rid of some of that growth?
Those carp, grass carp.
Okay.
They're $12.50 a piece, and they're 8 to 11 inches long.
So they're not the little babies.
No, they're not little. They're big enough to put in the frying pan if you want to cook them.
That's an expensive fish. Okay, T, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. T keeps all the ponds around here stocked with fish.
You can't can carp either, can you?
I wouldn't even want to eat carp. That's the reason we say carp.
That's why you put it. Oh, he was teasing.
Oh, yeah.
You put it in.
Go ahead, caller.
It's your favorite son-in-law.
Hey,
how
what's
are
up,
you, Dustin?
Dustin?
I've got the ultimate canning question to shut down Whoop Radio.
Go ahead.
So all my life, my dad has talked about all the canning they used to do at the Coleman house, and Grandma Coleman would always tell the girls that if it was their time of the month, so to speak, that they had to get out of the house because that would ruin everything that they were canning.
Yep, that's an old wives' tale.
It is. And believe you me, if I put that sign up at the cannery, I don't know what would happen. But no, we don't go along with that anymore. But you do make kraut when the signs are in the head.
Well,
and
Dad was there was 3 boys and 3 girls, and he thought it was a pretty good conspiracy that to keep the guys in the house to have to do all the work. But
yeah.
Hey, I hadn't thought about that. Maybe we should reinstate that.
But that is true, and old people still believe that, and
I've not heard that.
Oh well, he grew up on the border of the country and the city,
and must not have had that many girls in the house.
Yep.
Good.
Thanks, Dustin.
Bye
bye.
Bye.
I mean, I've heard that all my life.
Oh, I had too, and a lot of people ask me that at the cannery nowadays. Do you still do that? And I was like, no.
Now, tell me about the signs for the cabbage.
When we make kraut, the signs have to be in the head. And that's the only time I'll make a kraut. I will not make it other times because the old saying was, the farther down it goes, the worse it's going to stink. So I guess that's about the truth. But anyway, we only make cabbage when the signs are in the head.
All right, tell me what signs in the head means.
Well, by the astronomical calendar, which you can pick up at Volunteer Electric when they're giving the calendars, and it's the signs, the head, arms, feet, legs, bowels, go on down through there, privates, and you make make kraut when the signs are in the head. That's the only time that your cabbages, your kraut's going to turn out.
Farmer's Almanac will tell you the signs. And my grandmother, who was born in 1900, would not have planted anything, or if you were having dental work done, she was always concerned if you didn't have it done according to the signs,
you'd bleed.
Well, I just
and there's just a lot of things. Yeah,
Ron looks at us like we're making this up.
No, I know that, but I just never. Not paying attention to it.
We would love to have somebody that really knows about the signs to come on and talk to us.
Yeah.
We've touched on it briefly with some folks.
Well, now let me tell you, old Ken Roark down there in McDonald might just know that because he's grown some crops, but he apparently does all his canning at home, but he's done a lot.
My grandfather planted everything by the signs. Mm-hmm. He would not plant like underground crops, top crops, different kind of crops, and he'd go strictly by the signs when he planted everything. And I believed it because I've with
Well,
him for so long. But
I think nature knows what she's doing.
I do too. I do too.
You know, being going through the master gardening classes, there is certain times. And I don't go. Was the moon in this shape for that? But some people still do. But you have to get certain times a year before you plant.
Right,
You know, the root
right.
crops, and then the next level, and there are 2 or 3 levels during the
Well,
year.
and you weaned the babies, and you did all that stuff by the science.
Yeah, cutting their teeth. You certain add certain
potty
things,
trained
things,
them.
Yeah,
I cut their teeth when they come in.
yeah. But
Good
there
morning.
was certain things.
Good morning. You're on Old Town Cleveland.
This is RD again.
Hey, RD, what's up, buddy?
You bringing up planting by the signs. I mean, my grandfather, he would always refer to planting by the moon.
Yeah,
same thing.
Plant by the moon. And when I was young, I remember I'd get up. I was in the shortwave radio, and I'd get up at night and string me an antenna out. And I'd walk across the field, and I'd look for Grandpa out there, and I said, well, he's not out here planting anything by, whenever
by the moon.
It's just crazy because I never could quite understand, but he always used a mule. He had mules, and I've still got his plow, Oliver number 10 plow.
I love it.
In front of it. But he wouldn't let a tractor in the garden, but he's a big about plant by the moon. He'd do everything, clear weeds.
So you thought that meant he was outdoor planting at night?
Nope. I'd be out there stringing antenna. I'd walk over to see if I'd help, and I was like, well, he's in there watching TV because he's half deaf.
You could hear him.
He's in there watching Mannix, but I still got. I remember when I was young, he would take me out, and he would always try to teach me how to work the mules. Man, he was good with them mules, and treated him better than family.
Did he G and haul?
He'd click and whistle, and man,
they'd know which way to turn.
They'd turn. He could back them up and do all kinds. He'd lay them, and he would always teach me. He'd say, "Come on, we'll show you how to." I've still got his mule harness. I got all the tack in here, but he would always try to teach me. He'd say, "I'll show you. Come on out here, and I'll show you how to work the mules. Hitch them, do all this stuff." And I tried it a few times, and I'm a grandpa. By this time, I'm 15 years old. I said, I'd rather be out here chasing a young girl than chasing a mule around.
Better view.
I'm 54 years old right now, and I think back on that, and
you should have kept notes.
Oh, I rather kick myself in the rear. I wish now that I would have learned how to do that.
Yeah.
'Cause that would have really. I'd love to do it now, but where he's long gone, and
yeah.
Every one of us has got those memories that we wish we'd have kept.
Do you have a picture of him plowing with that mule?
Probably Mama's got somewhere. Over
Boy, that you ought to get those out.
We got a picture of my great grandfather from 1915, Polar Duke. He delivered mail out in Tennessee City, out in Dixon County, on the back of a mule. We got him picture of him sitting on a mule with saddlebags on it, and the mule blanket says "Property United States Postal Service."
Oh, God!
We'd love to scan that and have a copy of that.
You know our theory is that be sure that his name's on the back of that.
Yeah, we've done that. And,
okay, good.
Yeah, but he won twins, Polar and Castor Duke, and he had 15 children. His wife, and she died young.
No wonder.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all take care now.
Thank
you, RD. All right, bye.
Well, I'm going to say it again. I just love our callers.
Oh, well, that's what makes the show is the people that call, and we have great guests like Mary Lou.
Which Mary Lou's going to have to come back. And we're going to talk about liberty and
we didn't get around to our ancestors and all the family
gossip.
gossip.
And we got to talking the other night, and her mother was Clayton, and my mother was Clayton, and we need to talk about that too. But we need to have you back, Mary Lou, in a few weeks. We'll call you.
We got time for one or two more questions.
There
If someone
we go.
wants to call in. Soup. So anything you put in there is okay.
Anything, yeah. I've people even put cucumbers in it. I've never done it myself. But
Cucumbers just seem like a soup.
no,
food
it
to
don't.
me.
But it's the vitamins and stuff that they have.
But I'm
that the
looking
others
at
don't have.
the
And it
collection of stuff on my kitchen table right now, and I just have a couple of cucumbers, and we've got some tomatoes, and I've just got
We got a lot
bit
of cabbage.
a little bit of everything.
Cabbage
is
Oh,
good.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you put all
And
that together.
I fixed on some boiled cabbage this week with some real butter in it, and a few little crushed red peppers. Just a
Ooh,
few.
sounds really
my
good.
gosh, it was good.
Yeah.
Not as good as
And-
my friends that taught me how to cook it that way, but it was still pretty good.
Nice.
Ron thinks
It's
I
always
need
better
to
if somebody else cooks.
try it again. Make sure.
So soups and So what can you make? Just like you said, you can do beans. You just cook them like you would, like you're going to eat them.
No, you soak them.
Okay.
For 12 hours, bring them down, and we put them in a big pot. We cook them about maybe 10 or 15 minutes just to make sure they've swelled up. You know how beans will swell up. Put them in your jars, then pressure them for 90 minutes. And then you just take them home with you and heat them up, and it tastes just like fresh cooked pintos.
So
or
when
black
you open
beans
them
or
up,
red
you just got to
beans.
heat them?
Heat them, yeah.
Okay.
And then you do like lentil soup and 15 bean soup and, chili soup and all that stuff. And
I am reading online here that our good friends down at the Red Ribbon on Central Avenue, that's close to Joe Rogers' Office Supply, who happens to sell my book, Confederate Voices. I have people that email me every week, want to know where they can get that book. You can buy that at the Red Ribbon. They are selling off all of their framed artwork in the Red Ribbon, and she has a great collection.
Unbelievable, yeah.
And the fun thing that I bought for Ron Christmas from the Red Ribbon is they had some of the little brown jugs left over from the Old Fort restaurant. And he got that, much to his surprise, in his Christmas gift. And her husband, Flavis Case, and his mom and dad ran the Old Fort Inn, and they had a little gift shop in there, and they found some leftovers. So I don't know if they still have any, but they have some. Also, if you want to pick up some copies of our It's a Dirt Track Life, that's available at Central City Auto Parts down there at Victor Hicks, our good friend Victor. He has the books and the DVDs, and also the Museum Center at 5 Points.
And the exhibit, the Dirt Track exhibit, goes till the
August 16th, so you need to get yourself...
maybe even sooner than that. Maybe next Saturday may be the last day. I don't know. It's somewhere along.
Yeah. It's the 16th,
You need
I
to
think.
go today or sometime next week or next Saturday.
And if you had
it is good.
It is a great exhibit.
Been through it several times.
And if you have someone that raced, there's a memory board in there, a chalkboard that you can write their name on that. So you'll need to do that too while you're there.
Hey, go ahead, caller.
Hey, Ron, I was going to try to identify them peppers for you.
Go ahead.
I can just hear, Fro now. I didn't get to make it last night. Boy, there was something bad come up. My son passed away a while back. Her boyfriend is actually choking one of my grandkids, and man, I had to call a while. And anyway, let's get back to the peppers, like what we were talking about. That is tobacco peppers.
You are listening to WOOP
wait a minute there.
LP,
Wait a minute.
Cleveland,
Sorry.
I don't know why it does
It
that.
automatically on the hours play that, and when we're running a little bit
I've
late
gotta
here.
turn the whole-
So now it's what you call?
Go ahead, Sid.
Little long yellow ones, little bit long yellow ones.
No,
They look just like a habanero, but they're a little bit longer.
But yeah, they're not turn. They'll turn yellow, but we picked.
Now wait a minute, you may have that Gypsy Queen.
I don't know, but I'm scared of them.
They're hot.
I'm scared.
I wouldn't be scared of. I'm not scared of any kind of pepper. I got a variety out here playing myself, but I had to come in. I've been listening to y'all all morning, but I had to come in. It's just got too hot out there to continue in the garden. And
Oh, I agree. Hey, Sid, we got to go. It's 12 o'clock.
yeah, I love you.
But thanks.
Lunchtime.
Thank you, Sid.
If you identify peppers, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Well, we love to hear from Sid and everything. Well, Mary Lou, that went
it's fun. I like this.
Well, you did
Seriously,
a great job.
I'm going to have you come back, and me and you are going to crawl around through all the people down in the Valley View, Lad Springs Road
and
area.
I'll tell you about the old time radio announcing.
That's right, because we
yeah,
didn't
love
get
to
to
do
that. And she was telling us during the break about her husband stacking his ads and his albums up so that he could play music. So you guys have got to hear all that.
Yeah, what little I know about radio, I learned from Tom Rowland. I guess that's why I'm no good at it. And this new electronic stuff works really good, but it can take over for it. And,
Every once in a while it jumps in, has a mind of its own.
It's having a
you've got to
kind
have
of
the
day
right
today.
combination there to do exactly what you want, and then if you don't have it the right way, it don't start back.
And things are not fun if they're all perfect. You got to have a little glitch in there every once in a while. To
Then
make it
this
funny.
is a great show.
This is a great show.
Think of it.
Glitches galore.
Okay, we thank you, and what we tell everybody every week is get those old pictures from the shoe boxes and the drawers and the beds, wherever they are, and while still your grandparents are alive, get someone to look at the picture and say that's who that is. Write it on a label and stick it on the back, and then when they're gone, and which unfortunately all of our grandparents and parents pass on.
And you think you'll remember, but you don't.
But you don't. And like I said, we've talked about, we wish we remember what our grandparents did. Get out a recorder and record them. Now, I have my grandfather, my cousin Bruce Epperson, recorded my grandfather, and hearing his voice is just magical. And the stories he tells, everything about his dad, my great-grandfather, is just amazing to hear those stories. So, record the people. You've got to say the memory. We talked about it at the mid-break. When someone dies, every week we lose some history of our community. And so do that. And we always say everyone will always remember Pearl Harbor.
But will they remember Aunt Pearl? See you guys next week.
Bye-bye, folks.
Bye-bye.
I said we were going to go by.
Where'd the old town go? They moved it all north of here in a shopping mall. Ooh, where'd the old town go? Did my hometown get old, or just me? Did all my friends get old, or just me? Are they all gonna have to be told, or just me?
You are listening to WOOP-LP, Cleveland, Tennessee. WOOP FM is a broadcasting service of the Traditional Music Resource Center, and we play America's original music.
You need money overnight.